edition of Fox Sports.
Oklahoma Sooner fans have circled September 5th on their calendar for the day so many questions will be answered. On offense, can Samaje Perine elevate his game to Heisman level? Can the Sooners adapt to the wide-open offense of new coordinator Lincoln Riley? How will new quarterback Baker Mayfield handle the pressure of commanding a team he idolized as a child? And can senior linebacker Eric Stryker captain the defense to the Big 12 championship? Those questions and more to be answered tonight as the Sooners open their 2015 season against the Akron Zips on Fox Sports. Welcome you to the Gaylord Family Oklahoma Memorial Stadium in Norman, Oklahoma for Oklahoma Sooner football on Fox Sports, presented by Deep Root. Today, the Akron Zips set to take on the 19th-ranked Oklahoma Sooners. Hello again, everybody. Along with Dave Lapham, I'm Ron Thule. And Dave, everybody, excited about the start of football, including the players and coaches of Oklahoma, mainly because they didn't live up to the expectations that they set last season.
And when they've had disappointing seasons in the past, Ron, they have rebounded exceptionally well. Let's take a look. Big 12 championships, national championships. They're preseason number 19. Last time that happened, they won a national championship. I think they're going to be good this year.
Of course, the big story in the offseason, Baker Mayfield, who hasn't played a regular season game since 2013, now the starting quarterback.
Unbridled joy for the game of football. Plays it with a linebacker's mentality. This is a thrill. There's no pressure for Baker Mayfield. He will enjoy today.
Especially he's got a couple of running backs behind him that are pretty salty.
Oh, no question. Perine runs with a low center of gravity, low pad level. He will thump you. Joe Mixon. This guy is an explosive runner, but he also runs routes and catches the football like a wide receiver. He's going to be all over the field today like a Swiss Army knife, that versatile.
Well, the Zips, they have their handful. They have not had a winning record since 2005, but Terry Bowden, in his fourth year, good football coach.
Terry Bowden has won 2 out of 3 football games every other place that he's been. He's been 4 places prior to this. Taking a little longer at Akron. He wants to get it done.
And we've got a full house, the 99th consecutive sellout here in Norman, Oklahoma. And we are ready for the Oklahoma Sooners, looking for their 10th consecutive home opening win. We'll have it coming up. Oklahoma football on Fox Sports is brought to you by Ford. The best deals are happening now only at your Oklahoma Ford dealer. Ford is the best in Oklahoma. By Pizza Hut, $10 any carry-out pizza. Call Pizza Hut for details. And by U.S. Fleet, anything that moves, anywhere. The Sooners 38-2 versus non-conference opponents under Bob Stoops, and he is standing by with Chad McKee.
17 years of openers at the University of Oklahoma, Coach. What do you want to see out of your guys tonight?
Just some discipline, good football, play physical, play smart, execute assignments. So I'm anxious to watch us.
All right, Coach, we appreciate it. Thanks.
All right, thank you.
Ron, Dave, back up to you.
All right, I think we all are anxious to watch the Sooners, and you take a look at number 28, Alex Ross. Last season, number 3 in the FBS, 31.7 return yards a game. And I think the question is Samaje Perine, we all know what he can do, but they've got to get creative, getting the ball in Ross's hands, Dave, because teams are going to want to kick away from Alex Ross.
Yeah, there's no doubt, Ron. He took 2 back to the house. He had a 100-yard kickoff return. It was his longest of the season. He is an unbelievable threat. Straight line speed extraordinaire. He's got track speed, sprinter speed.
Ross on the far side, awaiting the kick of Robert Stein, the senior out of Cincinnati, Ohio. He's on the Groza watch list this year, and it's going to be Neal at about the 4, up over the 20, 25, 35, 40, up to the 42-yard line. That is his longest. Going back to last season, it was 39 yards. And, of course, the quarterback, the sophomore out of Austin, Texas. 7 starts for Texas Tech in 2013. Baker Mayfield, Dave.
Baker Mayfield, the offensive newcomer of the year in 2013 in the Big 12, and P. Ryan was the same honor in 2014.
You mentioned it, the excitement, but the coaches like the fact he makes quick decisions, and we see one right there. K.J. Young gets the first down, the first of the season, up inside the 45 to the 44-yard line. Dylan Evans makes the tackle, but a 15-yard gain. We do have a penalty on the play. I think they're picking that flag up.
The one thing I liked about Mayfield that time, the ball was out of his hand in a tenth of a second, and yards after catch by Young.
P. Ryan joining Mayfield in the backfield, his first carry. Bangs his way close to the 41-yard line. Let's take a look at the forward starting lineup for Oklahoma. Of course, Orlando Brown. You really like him.
Yeah, he's protecting the blind side of Baker Mayfield. Anytime you have a big horse like that, protecting your blind side, you're in good shape. And all these skill players are extraordinary. There's a lot of team speed that the Sooners can put out on the football field.
Deron Neal on the near side, and the question is, as far as wide receivers, who's going to be that number 2 receiver to Sterling Shepard? Mayfield rolling out. This is where he can be dangerous. Wisely throws it out of bounds. Now let's take a look at the Zips defense. Pittman, Coe, Grice, Marcus. 3 of the 4 are transfers. Grice, he's kind of the bell cow down there. And the linebackers, Jatavius Brown, we watched him on tape yesterday, Dave.
2-time defensive MVP of the MAC Conference, and secondary solid. But the strength of this football team defensively is the front 4.
3rd down and long for the Sooners. We'll call it 7. P. Ryan in the backfield. Meade wide to the left. And we've got a whistle, and it's going to be a motion call against the Sooners.
Well, that's
False start. Number 78, 5-yard penalty. 3rd down.
Orlando Brown moving a little bit too early, and that's what Bob Stoops was talking about. Discipline. Avoid penalties. Avoid those kind of things, the sloppiness. Don't want that to creep into this football game. They find themselves in a 3rd and long situation. Barry Bowden likes this kind of scenario.
Well, the Sooners were 40% on 3rd down last season. They need 12. Mayfield hands it off, and P. Ryan just tripped up at the 50-yard line. He's going to lose 3. Jamal Marcus does a nice job. The junior out of Durham, North Carolina, one of the transfers we were talking about, number 34. He transferred from Ohio State and actually played in the Orange Bowl in 2014.
Lincoln Riley recruited him to East Carolina. He knows all about him. Kid's a good football player. Lincoln Riley wanted him.
Austin Seibert, the freshman, he's punting and kicking field goals, and he gets a boomer. It was touched, but it gets into the end zone. The punt carried 50 yards, his first collegiate punt. The Zips will take over on their own 20-yard line. That young man has got a heck of a leg.
He does. He just needs to be a little bit more sound with the directional kick right there. Maybe try to angle it toward the sideline a little bit more. Not enough reverse spin when the ball hit the turf, bounded into the end zone instead of bouncing backwards.
Well, Akron was not going to name their starting quarterback until right now, and it goes to Trayvon Chapman. Very athletic player, originally signed with Pitt. He challenged Kyle Pohl, who was a 2-year starter. They like Chapman because he can run. He's got a lot of versatility running the football. Joined in the backfield with Connor Hundley. They call themselves a hurry-up offense. Let's see if that happens. Hundley, right side. They want to run the ball more. Dominique Alexander on the stop. Let's take a look at the offense. First of all, for the Zips,
Dylan Brumbaugh is the guy, Ron, the best guy up front.
And the running back Connor Hundley had 148 yards last season versus Pitt on 19 carries, his only 100-yard game all of last season. Good first down play, though, if you're the Zips. They want to establish the run this season. Even though they like throwing the ball, Sooners show pressure. Chapman's going down. May picked up about a half a yard. Eric Stryker was blitzing in from the far side. And speaking of Stryker, he heads the defense.
A lot of good football players on the Oklahoma front 7. Tapper's going to have a big year. Evans and Alexander do a great job at the linebacker position. Shannon's going to get in there on a rotation, and Sanchez, All-American candidate at corner.
Such an exciting player. Now it's 3rd down and 6 for the Zips. Last season, only 38% on 3rd down. They need 6. Chapman, his first pass, wide open, throws behind his intended receiver, Jerome Lane. Jerome Lane, this is the first time he has played wide receiver since high school.
This is cover 2, safety over the top. Tried to go back shoulder because quarterback Chapman saw Hatari Bird coming over the top there in coverage and could have had an interception, so he had to throw back shoulder. Ball falls harmlessly to the ground.
Well, Lane was a safety up until this week. Sterling Shepard standing at about the 34-yard line for the Sooners. Zach Ball, the senior, out of Broadview Heights, Ohio, an outstanding punter, back for Akron at the 10. Kicking with the wind. Shepard calls for the fair catch. He put up the hand, and they're going to mark it down at about the 38-yard line. So the Sooners will have their second possession of the night after the 38-yard kick. We'll return to Norman after this.
We welcome you back to Gaylord Family Oklahoma Memorial Stadium. No score between the Sooners and the Akron Zips. 12:01 to play in the opening period. Here joined by the president of the University of Oklahoma, David Boren. Every Sooner fan has a special experience on game day. What's game day like for the president of the university?
It's the most exciting day of the year. You know, I think when they say it's football time in Oklahoma, you just feel all that energy. And for us, it's a great time because it means that all of our fans come back to campus, see what's been named one of the 25 most beautiful campuses in America, and get a window into what's going on at OU. So it's an exciting time.
209 players made academic All Big 12, the student athletes at the University of Oklahoma. How pleased are you with that?
I'm really pleased with that. You know, it's really incredible. 7 straight semesters now, our student athletes have earned more than a 3-point. And we had over 90 that had a 4-point during this last academic year. So it's really remarkable. So it's not just the national merits, and we're thrilled to be #1 for a public university, the first time in U.S. history in National Merit Scholars, but it's our athletes, and it really shows what a well-rounded program we have. So we're proud of these players in every way.
Okay, we'll let you enjoy the evening here tonight and get out and socialize with some of the great Sooner fans. Mr. President, thanks for joining us.
Thank you very much.
Gentlemen, back up to you.
All right, Chad, thank you very much. Great leadership by not only President Bourne, Bob Stoops, and Joe Castiglione. Think about it. Those three have been together the entire time. That's unheard of.
Oklahoma's version of the BCS. It's the 17th year of Bourne, Castiglione, and Stoops.
That's a good one. Sooners with their second penalty. They get set back, and P. Ryan, they're wrapping him up. He's going to lose about 3 on that play.
Well, Chuck Amato, the defensive coordinator for Akron, is very, very aggressive.
Yeah.
He's get 5 guys at the line of scrimmage and really challenging Oklahoma, but Oklahoma's shooting themselves in the foot. They had a completion on first down that would have been another first down, but they have a holding penalty, make it 1st and 20, and then they get knocked back, and now they're looking at 2nd and a million.
And now we get our first look at Joe Mixon, who comes to the near side. They put him in the slot. His first action as an Oklahoma Sooner, and Mayfield goes to the far side. Pass is incomplete, intended for K.J. Young.
And that's the thing about Joe Mixon. He started in the backfield, motioned out. You're going to see him line up in oh so many places. And the thing is, Ron, it's because of his skill set. He's got a special set that's very versatile. You don't want to overload him. How much can he handle?
Yeah.
Joe Mixon can handle a lot. You don't call him a running back because he can play wide receiver. You call him a football.
Well, Samaje Perine back in his first 3 rushes, plus 3 yards. His last 2, minus 8 yards. He's back in the lineup. Sooners facing 3rd and long again. Mayfield swings it out to Perine. Looks for some running room. The Zips just swarm him as he gets up to the 30-yard line. That'll be a pickup of about 5. Chris Givens coming up from that cornerback spot to make a stop.
Well, what you have going on here is, look at where the safeties are. I mean, it's 3rd and 22. So they're going to allow anything underneath. I mean, they're not going to worry. They're making sure they don't let anything go over their head. Make them check it down, then rally up to the football, and that's exactly what Akron did.
Amani Davis standing back at his 22. Seibert's first punt was 50 yards. He's going to get a nice roll on this. Looks like it's going to stop at the 21-yard line. So that'll go 49 yards. When we come back to Norman, Oklahoma, the Zips will have the football. Scoreless in the first quarter, 10:21 left to be played between the Sooners and the Zips in the first. And, of course, we talk about the Bowden family, but we got to mention the Stoops family because Ron Stoops Sr., obviously, he was the man who started it all, very successful at Cardinal Mooney High School in Youngstown, and Ron Stoops now at Youngstown State with Bo Pelini and Bob and Mike and Mark, now the head coach at Kentucky.
Definitely football families battling each other in this matchup. A lot of success, a lot of proud generations of football right there.
There's Mike Stoops up in the booth for the first time. I mean, he did it in spring instead of being on the sideline, and I asked him what it's like. He goes, well, I get more room to spread out my notes, and I went, baloney. You want to be on the sideline? I didn't buy that. Chapman runs again. And Dominique Alexander right there to wrap him up. Now we talked about the Stoops family tree. How about the Bowden family tree, the winningest family in college football?
Over 600 victories, of course. Bobby leading the way there. 377.
Wow.
Unreal. 2 national titles. Terry had in his mind an unofficial national title. He went undefeated at Auburn, but they were on probation.
Won his first 20 games, and there's the brother.
Tommy. Oh, excuse me, Jeff.
And it's 2nd down and 9 for the Zips. They say they're going to run the same offense with Pohl as they do with Chapman at quarterback, but we don't believe that. Chapman has to tuck it and pull it down. And he's going to be run out of bounds, and they'll mark it at about the 22-yard line again. Dominique Alexander, he's got to be the big play guy. And you take a look at the head coaching families, and of course that's Mac Brown and company, and the Dooleys and the Holtzes.
Dooley brothers, and then the Holtz's father, son. So it's pretty impressive. The 5 families of football right there.
Funniest, though, are the Holtz father and son. Yeah, Skip's one of my favorite. Of course, Skip played here opening day last season. So now the Zips are facing 3rd down and 9. Ball at about the 21-yard line. Chapman will go to work again. Sooners rush 4. Chapman steps up, and he is tied up. Again, Matt Diamond, the junior out of Katy, Texas, an undersized guy.
Well, Chapman's already run the ball 3 times. He's going to run a little stunt, a little crossing stunt in here with the defensive tackles. And you have to keep that rush lane integrity. And Diamond, the stunt takes him right to the lane that Chapman's trying to take advantage of on the quarterback draw on 3rd down. Nah, baby, nah. And Akron has to punt it away.
Well, both teams 0 for 2 on 3rd down. Zach Paul, his 2nd punt. Sterling Shepard standing at the 40-yard line. He is kicking with the wind. Shepard will return this from the 37. Looks for some type of seam. Penalty flag is thrown as Shepard gets inside the 40 down to the 39-yard line.
You're going to have an illegal block in the back on the Sooners, I believe. That's going to negate that return. So it's not just the penalty, it's the yards of the return. It becomes a massive penalty in terms of yards. And this is what Bob Stoops didn't want. Penalties on special teams, offense, defense, no sloppiness.
43 yards on the kick, 23 on the return.
During the return, block in the back, number 9 of the receiving team. 10 yards from the spot of the foul. 1st down.
Bob Stoops obviously upset about that. Here's the illegal block in the back right there. Pretty obvious. The officials looking right at it. Easy call.
Back with you at Gaylord Family Oklahoma Memorial Stadium. No score with 8:23 to play in the opening period. And pleased to be joined by the head men's basketball coach at the University of Oklahoma, Lon Kruger. Coach, 4 starters returning. Big 12 Player of the Year, Buddy Hield back. Ryan Spangler, Isaiah Cousins. How excited are you about what this team could potentially be?
Really, I'm excited because of the experience, because of their attitude about working hard, their attitude toward each other. They've started a lot of Big 12 games together, and you had Jordan Enter at the point in his 3rd year with those seniors. It's a fun group to be around every day.
What would you like to see refined and maybe the finishing touches for a team like this?
We've got to get better across the board. We've got to rebound the ball better. I thought defensively we took a big step last year. We've got to do that again this year. A little better shot selection, perhaps. Shoot it for a little better percentage.
Could have 3 Big 12 teams in the top 10 when the season begins. You could be one of them. Iowa State, Kansas. The competitiveness of this conference is as good as any league in the country, isn't it?
It is. It has been for the last 2 or 3 years, and this year will be no different. A lot of good players in the league. Other coaches are great. Teams are awfully good.
Coach, we appreciate it. Get back over there and enjoy the game. Thank you.
Thank you.
Season tickets are on sale now for men's and women's basketball. Soonersports.com is the place to go for that. Guys, back to you.
Absolutely. I tell you, Lon Kruger's one of my favorite coaches. I've known him for years. Great job. By the way, we just saw Mixon and P. Ryan, and we see him again in the same backfield.
Yep. And they're unselfish enough to block well for each other.
A little razzle-dazzle. Mixon pitches back to Westbrook, and he is corralled. I tell you what, Chuck Amato's defensive Akron doing a great job. Say Von Pittman, the transfer out of Ohio State on the stop. They are really being aggressive
Yeah,
today.
they are. They're coming downhill. The game's not too big for them. They feel like they can compete. Look at all the white jerseys. Look at that. P. Ryan was almost tackled before he pitched the ball back to Westbrook. I mean, unbelievable penetration by the Akron Zips.
Now the Sooners go with 3 wide receivers to the right.
They've had a 3rd and 12. Now they have a 3rd and 16.
Yeah. Instead of keep shooting themselves in the foot. Here is Mixon looking for some running room. Gets up over the 25, down to up to the 27-yard line. And the Sooners are going to have to kick it away. And there's Chuck Amato, former head coach at North Carolina State with Phillip Rivers was there. Longtime assistant with Bobby Bowden.
Well,
and he still got some hops, too.
He coached a lot of NFL linebackers at Florida State. He knows what he's doing.
This is the 3rd punt for Austin Seibert. 50 and 49 so far. This one he hangs. Great coverage. Davis is swarmed at the 21-yard line. The punt goes 51 yards, -1 on the return. The Zips will have it on offense when we come back. We are scoreless in the first quarter in Norman, Oklahoma. I want to remind you, the Oklahoma City Thunder is hosting the 2015 Coaches Clinic on Saturday, September 26th at the Chesapeake Energy Arena. Half-day clinic designed for coaches at all levels, from volunteer youth coaches, middle school to high school and college coaches. Clinic will offer special instruction, demonstration, and training with coaching professionals from across the country, including Thunder head coach Billy Donovan. Register online at okcthunder.com/coaches clinic and reserve your spot now. Akron has run 6 plays, 3 net yards so far. And 1st and 10 on the 22-yard line. They fake it to Hundley. Chapman rifles the pass. Close to being double covered was Jerome Lane.
Well, Chapman's a better runner than a thrower. There's no question about it, and it's pretty obvious. And since he came into the football game, you know, the Zips are thinking it's going to be very, very tough to run the football on the Sooners. It's going to be tough to throw it. Let's see if our quarterback run package can gash them a little bit. And Oklahoma's tightened up their splits and taking care of that quarterback run package well.
And the Sooners giving up nothing on 1st down, and that was pretty good for Akron last season. They'll hand it off. Amani Davis. He's able to get over the 25 to the 26-yard line. Pick up of about 4 on the play.
You know, the Sooner defense is playing well, obviously. 2 3-and-outs for the Zips and potentially a 3rd straight 3-and-out. But offensively for Oklahoma, penalties, self-destruction, 3rd and 12, 3rd and 16. I don't care what offense you're running. When you're behind the chains like that, it's tough to convert on those long 3rd downs.
3 penalties for the Sooners, 48 yards.
One was on special teams, illegal use hands in that punt.
And now the Zips need 6 on 3rd down. They're 0 for 3 on 3rd. Chapman will keep it, and he is going to be stood up. Gets a couple on the play, well short of the 1st down. Devontae Bond, probably the most underrated player on that defense, coming up with a stop.
A little bit of a read option. Underneath handoff, fakes it, takes it up the football field. Oklahoma's in the gaps they're supposed to be in. And Bond says the name is Bond. Javonte Bond.
This will be the 3rd punt for Zach Paul. Last season, he averaged 42.5 yards a kick, and Shepard had a nice return of 23 yards on the last punt. Penalty flag is thrown. They'll do it again.
Yep.
But Shepard's last return nullified by a penalty, as Dave mentioned.
Little early movement for the Zips.
Prior to the snap, false start, offense, number 1, 5-yard penalty, remains 4th down.
Penalties, you know, in the opener, these are the kind of things that unfortunately you experience. You just hope it's not overwhelming. And right now, particularly for the Oklahoma Sooner offense, it's overwhelming. They can't get out of their own way because of the penalties.
Sooners with 15 total yards offense, 48 on penalties.
Wow.
This is a boomer. Wow. Shepard catches it over his shoulder, and he's going to try to return it. Looks for the lane. Akron just corralling him, and he's going to dance around. Whoa!
That's late. There's the flag.
Finally.
Pushed him when he was well out of bounds and pushed him over the bench. And now you got it mixing up on the sideline.
Yes.
Shepard obviously is a valuable guy. Teammates don't want to see late hits on Shepard. And he went over the bench. You know, outkicked the coverage a little bit. Shepard did a great job of fielding the punt, first of all, over his shoulder, returns it 5 yards out of bounds. I mean, you have to have some idea where you are in the field of play. That's brutal.
After the play, personal foul, late hit out of bounds, number 27, defense, 15-yard penalty, first down.
I think it was number 88, Buddenberg. It's the guy that pushed Shepard over the bench. So that's another 15 yards added to the return that Shepard had. So that booming punt is negated by a nice catch by Shepard, and you got a return out of it, and then the 15-yard penalty to boot.
Well, you have to think, too, how valuable he is to Lincoln Riley's offense. We got a moment. I want to talk about when the Sooners score their first touchdown tonight. It's going to be dedicated to a young man by the name of Easton Peterson. Easton Peterson is a young man that got in a terrible car accident. Bob Stoops visited him at Children's Center Rehabilitation Hospital, and then Lincoln Riley saw him and kind of got an attachment to the young boy, as the young man is quite a Sooner fan and actually came to a spring practice, and Lincoln said, our first touchdown this season is going to be dedicated to you. I love it. Mayfield looking near side, looking for Neal. Caught at the 20-yard line.
Wow. I mean, that's the situation. You're just giving your receiver, saying, I have confidence in you. Gibbons has great coverage there, Ron, and they just threw it up and said, Baker Mayfield said, I'm going to give you a chance on a contested catch, 50-50 ball. You go climb the ladder, you make a play, you be strong at the high point, and man, he sure was. Great play.
37 yards. This time they'll swing it out to P. Ryan. Breaks a couple of tackles inside the 20, down to the 18-yard line. Let's go back to Neal. He had 42 receptions last season.
And really, you know, the coverage is tight. Baker Mayfield says, I respect you, Neal. I know you're stronger and you're taller, you're bigger. You're going to go up to the high point and catch the football. That's just an outstanding play.
And he was kind of off this spring, Neal was, making an impact now. Mayfield looking over the middle, is going to have to scramble. Still looking. And he's just going to throw it into the cheap seats.
You know, Neal has now caught a pass from 5 different quarterbacks in Oklahoma. Landry Jones, Blake Bell, Trevor Knight, Cody Thomas, and now Baker Mayfield. Deron Neal, 5 different quarterbacks he has been on the receiving end from.
Mayfield's now 4 of 7 for 59 yards. Neal on the near side, Mixon in the backfield. 3rd and 6. Ball's on the 18-yard line. The quick toss. In and out of the hands of Mixon. Boy, that's something you're not going to see a whole lot, because we watched him in practice on Thursday. This young man's got some meat hooks.
He really does. I mean, in my opinion, it looked like he had the best hands on the football team. Baker Mayfield put it right there for him, and Joe Mixon didn't look it in. He dropped the football. High percentage of the time he's going to make that catch, but he didn't there. And they, again, Ron, they motioned him out of the backfield, put him in the slot, and even though you have a back in the game, it's a 5-receiver set spreading the field.
Well, here's Austin Seibert, a 35-yard field goal attempt, his first in a Sooner uniform. Boffin the holder. Piece of cake. So the Sooners finally get on the board courtesy of the Mayfield to Deron Neal pass.
Yeah, that was definitely flipping field position right there. Just a wide receiver going up and making a very, very good athletic play. No question about that.
Well, we'd like to welcome all of you that are watching on pay-per-view. And, of course, we want to also tell you more about Sooner Sports TV.
Right end zone touchdown. Get Get the best of Sooner sports all in one place. Exclusive access to your teams. New programming taking you closer to the action than ever before. The biggest plays, the biggest moments. Your Sooners, your sports, your way. Available on your laptop, tablet, and phone. Get premium video first with Soonersports.tv. Join the .tv club. Log on to Soonersports.tv today to start your subscription.
All right, let's take a look at the scoring drive brought to you by Ford. 5 plays, 54 yards, took 60 ticks of the clock.
Ron, the Sooners got into the red zone. They took a snap in the red zone, so that qualifies as a red zone opportunity where you don't score a touchdown. You have to settle for a field goal. They want to finish drives when they get in the red zone, does Lincoln Riley and his offensive troops.
Mayfield was 2 of 4 for 39 yards on that drive, so that was pretty good. Nick Hodgson set to kick it away. The kickoff specialist, one of the best in the country, kicking with the wind. That'll be about 5 yards deep. Van Edwards. Great job by the special teams tonight for the Sooners.
Yeah, their team speed is obvious. This is where you see the team speed differential when you're covering kicks and running in space. And good hang time. Got it into the end zone. And it's returned. The tackles made it inside the 20. You're putting the Akron Zips on a long field whose offense is struggling.
And the Akron Zips come in. They were picked second in the MAC East this year behind Bowling Green. This is a team that stood 4-2 last year after the first 6 games, beating Pitt and Eastern Michigan, Miami of Ohio, but then they had some injuries and lost 5 of their last 6 games. Kyle Pohl is now checked in at quarterback for the Zips, so we're going to see both guys tonight. Sooners coming up to the line of scrimmage, and we've got a whistle and a stoppage.
Early movement on the Zips.
I tell you, I think they saw Stryker and everybody.
Ball start, offense, number 35. 5-yard penalty, first down.
Eddie Shelton, our referee tonight.
There's the early flinch. Oops, can't do that. You gotta wait till the ball snapped. You can't move bullet. Once you get in that 3-point stance, no movement.
And look at Kyle Pohl, a 2-year starter. He's been in a lot of big games, going back to Michigan in 2013, where they almost beat the Wolverines. Throwing a lot better this year, the coaches tell us. Faces first down at 15, and then he'll hand it off to Alexander Donnell. The senior transfer from Colorado State. Spent 2 years at Colorado State. Over 1,000 yards rushing in that time, and that's a great Oklahoma fan there, isn't it?
That is
He's got the game face on.
No question. That's a Norman Rockwell portrait of a Sooner fan right there.
Isn't it?
Yes. Chisel.
Donnell, of course, the son of the late Derek Thomas of NFL fame.
You know, a couple of years ago, he averaged 6 yards a carry for the season in Colorado State. That's pretty good efficiency.
They're able to pick up a yard. It's second down and still long. We'll call it 14 for the Zips. Whoa. Hundley breaks through over the 20 up to the 21-yard line.
He's saying Stryker tackled him by the face mask to no avail, no flag. But he did find a crease and got north and south. You know, what you have to do, watch Stryker follow the play here. He peels off to the inside. He did grab the grill a little bit. But Hundley, the thing that he did right there is kept those shoulder pads square to the line of scrimmage and got north and south.
And another third down situation for the Zips. They need 4. 0 for 3 on third down tonight.
Timeout.
Timeout. Well, the crowd got loud.
Akron, first charge timeout of the half.
Pohl's not happy.
30-second timeout.
Pohl yelling at his teammates. Looked like maybe somebody lined up in the wrong formation. They were running out of time trying to make a correction, and Pohl still looking at some of his teammates in a little bit of disgust.
You know, we were just talking about Eric Stryker a minute ago, the senior out of Seffner, Florida, and we had a chance to talk to him and asked him, why did he come back for another year at Oklahoma?
I came back because I don't want to go out like 8-5. You know, that's not me personally. If anything I can do to help better the team, you know, this program, you know, that's what I'm going to do. So I came back because, you know, one, I don't want to go out like that. You know what I mean? And me coming back as a leader, I can help, for the culture of the team, for years to come, help shape that.
Chad, you spent a lot of time with Eric Stryker.
I sat and asked him one day, Samaje Perine pretty big fella. What happens if the irresistible force that is Samaje meets up with Eric Stryker in the hole? And he said, I would probably wind up on my backside. So at least he's honest about it.
Well, he's got 3 tackles already tonight. I like on Thursday's practice, he was begging the coaches to play wide receiver one play in this game. On 3rd down for the Zips, Pohl tosses it. Far side. No, he's out of bounds, incomplete.
Didn't stay on the field to play. You got to possess the football and get 2 feet down. Boy. Or 1 foot down in college football. Boy, is the right foot down, and does he have possession of the football? The official's saying no. Oh, they may have taken another look at that one.
Yeah.
It looked like the right foot was still down. The left foot had not come down out of bounds yet, in my first glance at it, but I'm not sure this is being reviewed.
Well, they're going to take a look, see what Cooper did. And this is the 4th punt of the night for the Zips. Shepard backing up again. Wow. Another one with the win. This time Shep just lets it roll.
That's what he did. The first time, Ron, he made a great over-the-shoulder catch that basically eliminated all those yards you get on the bounce and the roll. That one he could not corral. It got over his head. I mean, a booming punt over his head, and he couldn't field the thing, and it cost him big field position yards.
73 yards on the kick. 65 was Paul's long last season. Now time for our OU player to watch, presented by American Energy Partners.
Well, we've already seen Joe Mixon line up in multiple spots at the running back position, at the wide receiver position, and he's going to be a valuable weapon to Lincoln Riley. But in our defensive player, Jatavis Brown, 2-time defensive MVP in the Mid-American Conference.
Now the Sooners are backed up. Ball spotted at the 6-yard lines. Perine in the backfield, and they'll give it to him. Boy, I tell you, Akron just stuffing the run. And this time it's Cody Grice, the senior out of Akron, Ohio, on the Lombardi watch list this season.
This is a try-hard guy. 5'11", 275, 280 pounds. He gets under your pads. He plays with a low pad level because of his height.
Also might see him a little fullback in short yardage situation. Mayfield rifle in the pass, incomplete, far side.
Another drop.
Meade had it in his hands. Had a good spring. They're expecting Jeffrey Meade to do a good job this year.
He just runs a simple out. He gets separation. The ball hits him right in the hands, and he drops it.
Not Mayfield's fault.
No, I mean, Oklahoma is just not in sync right now. This time they're suffering from bad field position, but penalties in field position have definitely really hurt the offense.
Well, Mayfield has missed his last 3 passes. He's now 4 of 9. Keeps it. Looking for some type of running room. Gets a little breathing room up to about the 11-yard line. Cody Grice again on the tackle. And when we were watching Grice on tape, the word that kept coming into my mind is intense. This young man plays with a passion.
Yeah, and I think his NFL opportunity is not going to be at nose tackle. It's going to be a fullback type scenario, and I wouldn't be surprised to see him carry the ball out in the field to play. He scored 4 touchdowns last year as a short yardage goal line runner. They may let him run it even in different situations than that. Got an illegal or false start, early movement on the Sooners.
Well, Seibert's kick. This is his 4th.
Snap. False start. Offense. Number 7. 5-yard penalty. 4th down.
This is getting almost ridiculous. Both teams very, very sloppy. It's the one thing that Coach Stoops and both coordinators wanted to see was, the team handle things from a discipline standpoint, not play sloppy football.
Well, Seibert 50, 49, and 51 on his kick so far. This is going to be fair caught by Davis at his own 47-yard line. 47 yards on the kick. Al Akron and a guy by the name of LeBron James, obviously, with the Cleveland Cavaliers, a native of Akron, Ohio. They've started a mentorship program. A full scholarship to attend the University of Akron is going to await some 200 Akron 7th graders if they stick with this mentorship program. And I'll tell you, that is a heck of a program, along with J.P. Morgan Chase. Any child under James' mentorship who graduates Akron Public Schools, meets the determined criteria, they're going to get a free ride to Akron.
It's over 4 years, a $14 million commitment. Congratulations to everybody that's being so generous.
Especially LeBron James. Thank you, my friend. And the Akron people talking to him yesterday and this morning, they're excited about it. Poles' pass is going to be incomplete. Almost picked off by Sanchez.
And then when he didn't control it, was almost caught.
Yeah.
He bobbled the interception, and it almost went into the receiver's hands, and if it did, it's a touchdown. Bobbles the interception, tips it over by the receiver. He tips it with his right hand. So, I mean, you talk about a juggling act. Juggle, juggle. One more time, juggle. It goes to the ground. Ooh, what could have been a takeaway, could have been a touchdown, ends up being nothing.
Well, Sanchez led Oklahoma with 8 passes broken up last season. He's got 1 already tonight. Pole facing 2nd down and 10. Final 51 seconds of the first quarter. Sooners show blitz. Pole hands it off to Donnell. Dominique Alexander, he has been in on a lot of tackles tonight, the junior out of Tulsa, Oklahoma. You know, we were talking about Alexander with the coaching staff, including Mike Stoops, defensive coordinator, obviously, and he says he has to be the big play guy this year. A lot of pressure on him.
Well, he came on a blitz, basically. He blitzed off the edge, and the blitzer made a good play on that, Stephen Parker.
Yeah.
He was the guy. He came off the safety position, read the formation, came off the slot, and blitzed and got involved in the tackle. Oklahoma being very aggressive defensively, just like Akron.
First time in Oklahoma territory for the Zips, facing 3rd down and 4. Pole looks, pressure backside, far sideline, caught inside the 25-yard line to Lane. Making his first start as a wide receiver, the safety turned receiver with the catch.
Great throw by Pole. Nice route by Lane. Lane is 6'3", 225 pounds, and he can run in the 4.5s. Looked like Sanchez maybe bit on a double move. And Lane beat the best cornerback that Oklahoma has on the football field. They're looking for big plays from him, a pure athlete.
Well, the play covered 48 yards, and that'll be the final play of the first quarter. So the Sooners only able to manage a field goal. Akron is threatening as we end quarter number 1 in Norman. Terry Bowden told us they would not be intimidated by playing here in Norman, and so far they haven't been, Dave.
They have not. And one of their big athletes, Lane, on the perimeter. Let's take a look at this matchup out here and watch what happens down the football field. Lane gets off the line of scrimmage pretty well, and then down the field. Right, let's freeze it. If we could have frozen that, you see where Sanchez grabs the jersey. Sanchez is looking in the backfield at the quarterback, and he's grabbing Lane's jersey, and he gets basically, he's not doing what he's supposed to do. He's looking at the quarterback, trying to see if the quarterback's throwing the ball or not. You got to run the route. You got to defend the route. Take a look. Right here, freeze it. Look at him. Look where his eyes are, and he's grabbing the jersey. That's trying to shortcut. He could have got called for holding. He didn't. They would have declined it anyway. Got to play with a little bit better technique.
So the Zips will begin quarter number 2, courtesy of the great catch by Jerome Lane. Dad, of course, played for Pitt, known for breaking backboards. And they'll have it on the 5-yard line. First down and goal from the 5. First play of the second quarter.
Early movement.
And we talked about Grice playing a little fullback from his defensive line position. That's where he is now.
Delay game. Offense. 5-yard penalty.
Boy, that was a quick clock.
Yeah.
That was a quick clock. Akron can't really believe that. And Grice, instead of short yardage goal line, he was out there on first down from outside the 5-yard line. So Coach Bowden is just expanding his role a little bit. He jogs off the field here. Now it's first and goal from the 10-yard line. It's a little bit tougher to score from the 10.
Pole stays in at quarterback, in case you just joined us and you're an Akron fan.
Timeout.
Chapman started, and Pole's going to burn the second time out of the half.
Second charge timeout of the half.
And with that, we'll step aside. Yet to play here in quarter number 2. Sooners lead it by a field goal. Oklahoma football on Fox Sports is brought to you by American Energy Partners. Hard work works here. By OG&E, power at the speed of life. And by Patriot Ford, I-35 exit 95 in Purcell. After quarter number one, Akron with 68 total yards, the Sooners with 59. I think what's surprising, Oklahoma with no yards rushing. Obviously, a lot of penalties have hurt the Sooners.
0 for 5 on third down.
Yeah.
Akron's 1 for 5. Oklahoma's 0 for 5.
Now Chapman comes back in at quarterback. He started the game. They're going to play both of them, obviously, tonight. Trying to follow behind the blockers. Dominique Alexander standing things up, making yet another tackle. Chapman just kind of ducked his head and was hoping for the best on that.
Well, Akron had them outnumbered. I mean, they pulled a couple of linemen, and with Chapman running the football, basically you have an extra blocker. Anytime you have a quarterback that's carrying the football, one more guy can block for you because he's not handing it off to anybody. And they out-leveraged Oklahoma in that play. Alexander made a good play. 6 tackles already for Dominique Alexander. Had 107 last season. Led the team. Lane on the near side. Hundley in the backfield with Chapman. Chapman looks, crossing pattern, rush from behind. Sooners are converging, and he's going down. Alexander again. Stryker had him and missed him. Stryker came on the blind side and missed Chapman. Chapman must have had eyes in the back of the head because he felt Stryker and could not get away. But watch Stryker come off the edge here, and he's gonna miss. Here he comes, ducks the shoulder, misses, grabs, misses, but Alexander finishes it. Chapman just can't outrun the defensive speed of the Sooners.
Remember, Akron had it on the 5-yard line. Penalties pushed it back. Now it's third down. End goal from the 9-yard line. Chapman looks, tucks, runs right up the middle. Sooners stop him at about the 4-yard line.
Design quarterback draw. He never even looked at the receiver. All he did was tuck the direct snap and look for a hole to open up. And good play by Oklahoma to keep him out of the end zone, but Akron can tie it up here.
Gordon Evans on the stop. Evans, the junior out of right here in Norman, Oklahoma. And coach is telling us he's gotten better, probably because Frank Shannon's back also.
Well, it's interesting. They definitely have one quarterback throws it, one quarterback runs it.
Yeah.
They've each got their role, and that's the way it's going to be.
Foster the holder. Robert Stein will be the kicker, and the left footer trying to tie things up, but he doesn't.
Wow. Wow. Stein last year converted 81.3% of his field goals, 13 for 16, 25th in the nation, converting over 81%. A big miss right there.
He was their leading scorer last season. Akron fans cannot believe it because Stein has been automatic. So the Sooners hold the lead 3-0, and they will have the football when we come back.
A joint off the upright.
Now the Sooners defense has been outstanding tonight. Oklahoma leads at 3-0. Last year they gave up only 106 yards rushing a game. Great job tonight.
Well, Mike Stoops was concerned, will they tackle well? Because they only had one live scrimmage. They are gang tackling. Look at all the red helmets swarm to the football. It's not just one Sooner. It's a bunch of Sooners running to the football and all trying to get a piece like blood in the water, a bunch of sharks.
And, of course, Dominique Alexander already with 7 tackles. He had 107 last year. In the spring, had a little wrist injury. Didn't get to see a lot of playing time. He's in full form tonight. Now Flowers and Pirine in the backfield for Oklahoma. Mayfield is going to put it up, scrambling again. Throws on the run, almost picked off and almost caught. Shepard almost got the deflection. I'll tell you what, Dylan Evans had a good look at that.
Yeah, he sure did. And this guy's a savvy football player. Rice moved out to middle linebacker. He left the nose tackle position, went to middle linebacker, changing up the look. And
wow.
Boy, I'll tell you, got the hand on it, almost got 2 hands on it. This is a guy that just has a nose for the ball. He's around fumbles, interceptions. Here's Rice again, once again, lining up at linebacker, leaving the nose guard position, tight linebackers.
Mayfield with a quick toss. That is what makes this offense so good is Shepard. And he'll be close to the first down. Evans was on the coverage, and they're going to get the first down over the 30 to the 31-yard line.
Easy little route combination right there. You have Shepard with a linebacker in coverage.
That's Shepard's first catch. This time it's D.D. Westbrook, the outstanding young player out of Brenham, Texas, and Blinn Junior College.
Jarvis Baxter threw a nice block for him as well on the perimeter.
And the Sooners have picked up the pace. Second down and short. Mayfield fakes, looks, and he is going to be dropped back at the 36-yard line. That'll be a loss of 3. Jatavius Brown, he had 4 sacks last season.
Well, this one, Baker Mayfield was not decisive. I don't know if he didn't have anywhere to go with the football. He was patting that ball. He wanted to get rid of it, but he had nowhere to go with it. Didn't want to put his team in jeopardy by turning it over.
That's part of what makes him so good is his decisiveness. So it's kind of unusual to see that.
That's why he's the starter. But if they jump the receivers, nobody wins one-on-one battles. You don't want to force it.
Got third down and short. Pass is incomplete, intended for Westbrook. Boy, the Sooners just misfiring. And, you know, you look at the secret to the offense that Lincoln Riley has put in. It's the mentality of attack. It's fearlessness. It's commitment. It's all of that. And I tell you, they're just kind of off base tonight as they're 0 for 6 on third down this evening.
What it is rhythm, and they got none tonight. You know, repetition breeds comfort level and gets you into a rhythm. And they felt like they come out in a much better rhythm tonight. They're not.
Well, if there's been one bright spot, it's been the punting of Austin Seibert. He backs up Amani Davis again at the 10, and he's going to have to fair catch it. So another plus 50 punt for the freshman. 54 yards. The Zips have it.
3-0 Sooners on top of the Akron Zips. 11:25 to play in the opening half. We welcome you back to Gaylord Family Oklahoma Memorial Stadium. Sooner women's basketball coach Sherry Cole, kind enough to spend a couple of moments with us. 2016 Women's Basketball Hall of Famer. How does that feel?
Surreal. Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and take it. I don't feel quite old enough, but I'm going to go ahead and take it.
I don't blame you, but congratulations on that. There's so many players coming back. Gabby Ortiz, your point guard, had a chance to win a gold medal with the United States under-19 women's team this past summer. What was that experience like for her?
I'm super proud of her, the way she represented our institution, our program. And she has come back with an edge. Gabby always had an edge, but it's a little bit different now. Her expectations of herself and for those around her are extremely high, and we're excited about that.
She's a gold medalist now. That's a little bit different. You've got Gabby, Joya Carter, Peyton Little, Kaylin Williams, so many. In fact, just one new player on the roster. How excited are you about the upcoming season?
Well, they're all older, wiser, more confident, better together, and I thought we were pretty good together last year for being so young. So I'm really looking forward to the potential of this team.
You like that up-tempo the football team went to a minute ago, didn't you?
I sure did. I want a little bit more of that. It reminds me of basketball.
Yeah, we'll let you get back over there and pay attention to that, Coach. Congratulations again, and thanks for joining us.
Thank you, Chad.
Men's and women's basketball season tickets are on sale at Soonersports.com. Guys, back up to you.
I tell you what, having covered women's basketball for the Big 12 Conference, it's all the time I've spent with Sherry Cole, Jan, her assistant, and that team. Well-deserved Hall of Fame honor.
She's exactly right. She doesn't look old enough to be a Hall of Famer. She looks like a kid.
But I still covered her when she played high school or college basketball. So that, you know.
We're not kids, Ron.
No, I know. Only 153 yards total offense between these two teams, and the Zips on third down. Again, cannot get success.
Has to throw it away, trying to set up a screen, but the pressure is so extensive, he has to just put it in the ground. Walker with a tremendous push. Tremendous push from the defensive tackle position. Watch Walker right here get up the football field and disrupt that three-technique defensive tackle. Ooh, baby. I mean, you have to at least keep him out for a count of 1,000, 1,002, let the screen develop. Charles Walker said, no. I'm going to blow up the football field and blow up the play.
And I think if you're the Oklahoma defensive coaches, seeing Walker do that is a good sign. Paul's fifth punt. Last one was 70-plus yards. Shepard at the 41-yard line. He's got a little bit of running room. Penalty flag comes in. Cuts to the right. He's got a lot of running room. Inside the 20-yard line, knocked out of bounds, but a flag back at the 50.
Coming back.
He already had a 23-yard return called back because of a penalty.
Well, this one's a hold. This isn't a legal block in the back. This is a hold. And unfortunately, it's all for naught. And it's not just the 10-yard penalty. It's the 40-yard return. It's a penalty of a half a football field.
46 yards on the kick, 43 on the return.
During the return, holding, return team number 27. 10-yard penalty from the spot of the foul. First down.
Well, you got, a tough situation right there when you get a holding penalty. Dakota Austin is going to feel terrible, obviously. Shepard, it doesn't diminish what Shepard did. He made a great read. He changed direction. All for naught.
Fifth penalty against the Sooners. That's what they averaged per game all of last season. Only scoring we have had is an Austin Seibert field goal. That's why the Sooners lead us 3-0. We are in quarter number 2. Let's take a look at our Bud Light game summary so far for this evening.
Well, this is a good explanation why it's 3-0. 1 for 13 combined on third down.
Yeah.
Neither team has hit the 80-yard mark, and we're into the second quarter. Look at Alexander, 7 tackles. Dylan Evans, 5 tackles. 5 solo tackles for him. Boy, it has been a defensive battle, and the offenses have self-destructed a little bit. The special teams, every time a team kicks the football, there's a penalty. Lincoln Riley trying to get the offense in a rhythm.
Once again, 3 new offensive linemen, a new quarterback, a lot of adjustments. Mayfield rolling, throwing on the run. Complete over the 45-yard line to Neal. He had one great catch earlier in the ball game.
That's a great open field tackle out there by Givens. I mean, one-on-one with Neal on the perimeter. Neal caught the football, and Givens said, that's it. No yards after catch. Great play in space.
Givens tied for 2 interceptions last year to lead the team. Mixon now in the backfield with Oklahoma. We've seen Mixon and Pirine in the backfield together. But Oklahoma's rushing game -2 yards so far. Mayfield throwing. Penalty flag is thrown. Complete to Neal. Gets inside the 40 down to the 38-yard line, but there's a penalty flag at the 50. Pick up a 15 if it stands.
I think it's on Akron.
Offside. Defense, number 34, lined up in the neutral zone. That penalty is declined. Result of the play, first down.
Well, he's got his hand in the neutral zone. Maybe his face mask is hanging in the neutral zone. Trying to get every inch he possibly can. You got to look inside. Make sure you're not lined up in that neutral zone. Boy, Mark Andrews had a free release down the football field.
They go to running the football. Mayfield keeps it right side. Only hit a couple. Givens running him out.
And again, Andrews, they're just letting him take off down the line of scrimmage from the slot position. And he just ran a slant route and took a defender with him. It gave a lot of real estate out there for Baker Mayfield to take advantage of.
I'll tell you what, when you look at Mark Andrews, the redshirt freshman out of Scottsdale, Arizona, in practice, in person, he's a big guy. Kind of playing a tight end sort of position, but he is a wide receiver. This young man's got a lot of talent.
No question.
Mayfield, quick pass, caught Baxter. That'll be close to the first down, about a yard short. Inside the 30, down to the 29-yard line. Jarvis Baxter, the junior, played junior college and just walked on. He's not even in the press guide. Well, coaches love this young man. Great job by Jarvis Baxter of maintaining his balance and getting yards after initial contact. He slid under the first tackler and get 3 more extra yards. And it's third down and short. Pirine in the backfield goes to the left side of Mayfield. He'll try to get the first down, and he bangs his way inside the 25 down to the 24. That's the first little crease that Pirine had an opportunity to take advantage of. And when that big old guy squares his shoulder pads up, whoo. First time Oklahoma's converted on third down in 7 attempts. Pirine gets down to the 20. That'll be a pickup of 4. Here we go, NASCAR. I mean, it's up-tempo now. Yeah. They sub from the sideline, so it slows down a little bit. They're going to try to force the issue. I mean, their goal during the course of this football game is to spread Akron out and to wear them out because they don't have as many bodies. Yeah, Mixon back in, Pirine out. Mayfield looking right. Throws across his body as receiver falls down. No penalty flag. Well, he certainly was looking for the penalty flag. It was a collision, but looks like Daryl Monroe kind of tripped him up. The middle linebacker for Akron.
Well, both players are allowed the same real estate on the field. Let's see how this unfolded. I mean, it's a tough cover.
It looks like he tackled him.
It's a tough cover. I mean, you got Mixon in space. You got to cover him as a linebacker. Man, that's a tough dynamic. And that one, they've thrown a lot of flags tonight. They decided to keep that one in their back pocket.
Well, it looked like Monroe tackled Mixon.
And you sure can't do that down the field.
Timeout's going to be called by the Sooners. Bob is not happy.
Oklahoma. First charge timeout of the half.
Now, the officials cannot look at the big screen.
Bob Stoops is talking to an official at the 22-yard line saying, are you kidding me? All the penalties you've thrown tonight, and you're going to let my guy get tackled right in the middle of the field? I mean, it's so obvious. It's right out in the middle of the football field. Let's watch Mixon as he releases and runs a little route down the middle of the field, and he just gets tackled by the linebacker, and the ball's in the air.
That's not a trip.
Oh, my gosh, man. That's just Bob's like, the linebacker pulled him to the ground. What's going on? He just pulled him to the ground. And he's got a legitimate beef right there.
Well, let's send it down to Chad McKee with more on Lincoln Riley and Coach Stoops. Chad.
Yeah, down here on the sidelines where Lincoln Riley, the offensive coordinator of the Sooners, is. It's a rarity to have an offensive coordinator down on the sidelines at this level, but also a defensive coordinator who's up in the booth. And Mike Stoops is up there this year. He was up there earlier in his career, but making the move up to the booth. Dave, I'm curious, what's the dynamic of all of that like?
Well, I think Lincoln Riley wants to take a look at his quarterback's eyes and other players' eyes as they come off the field and see how they're handling things. And the only way you can do that is down in the field. And Mike Stoops, I guess he probably figured that he can see better from up there. He can gather more information up there. It's all subject to change.
8th play of the drive. Started on the 40. Mayfield dumps it off to Andrews, the big tight end, and he'll get the first down. Speaking of Lincoln Riley, want to wish him a happy 32nd birthday. The pride of Muleshoe, Texas. You like that?
Now, he is a kid. But that is a very, very intelligent football coach.
I'll tell you what, I got a trivia question. Who else is from Muleshoe, Texas? Who? Lee Horsley. Played in the TV series Matt Houston. How about that?
I don't think I ever seen it.
You're as old as me. Come on. Mixon back in the lineup. 1st and 10 for the Sooners. Mayfield into the flat, complete inside the 5 to Duron Neal. That'll be his 4th catch of the evening.
Neal doing a nice job. Watch him plant his foot and get it out of that cut. You get separation by planting your foot, sinking your hips, and getting that in and out of a cut. He ran the good route. The ball was in the air before he even started his cut. Good rhythm and timing on that one.
Now we see Daniel Brooks joining Joe Mixon in the backfield on the 10th play of this drive. Brooks showed us a lot in the spring game. 2nd and short. Mayfield keeps it, looks for the sideline, gets to the 5-yard line. He's going to lose about 3. Jatavius Brown was in pursuit.
Jatavius Brown can outrun Baker Mayfield in a 40-yard dash. Watch Jatavius Brown close on this and just takes him to the curve. That young man can fly from sideline to sideline.
And the Sooners now facing 3rd down. They need 2. And it's P. Ryan and Mixon in the backfield. Ball spotted inside the 5 at about the 4-yard line.
Timeout Akron, the final timeout.
Timeout Akron. 3rd and final charge timeout of the half.
Every Wednesday on Fox Sports Oklahoma, get inside the huddle with Sooner Playbook. Expert analysis from Sooners that played the game. Sooner Playbook is the perfect midweek football fix. That's every Wednesday. And, of course, Baker Mayfield knows what kind of offense Lincoln Riley likes to run, considering they both were at Texas Tech at one time. And here's his thoughts on Lincoln Riley.
Oh, I love him. I know everybody does. At first, people were kind of skeptical about whether he's going to come in and start throwing the ball with 5 receivers, but with our running backs, we can't do that. We're still going to run the ball, but everybody around here is excited. He's done a lot of good things, and there's a lot of energy around here now.
Well, it has been the passing game. Only 9 yards rushing so far tonight for the Sooners, Chad.
Yeah, and we've talked so much about the air raid offense, and Dave, I know you've spent some time with the offensive line coach, Bill Bedenbaugh. You know, you think about the epicenter of the air raid offense. It almost dates back to 1991 in Iowa Wesleyan.
Right.
Bill Bedenbaugh was the center there. Dana Holgerson was a wide receiver. Hal Mumme was the head coach. Mike Leach was an assistant coach. That's really where it all began, isn't it?
It is. Mike Leach was the offensive line coach for center Bill Bedenbaugh down there. So, yeah, he's at the very root of that tree, in that growing tree. But he's not, Bill Bedenbaugh right now isn't happy because his offensive line, they're not doing a good enough job in the run game. 9 yards run. And Akron's not loading the box up to stop the run. They're stopping the run with 6 in the box. And Bill Bedenbaugh, he's not going to be happy about it. I'm sure they'll be peeling paint at halftime, getting after the guys.
This is the 11th play of the drive. That was Coach Bedenbaugh, is back to us a moment ago. 3rd down for the Sooners. They need a couple, and oh my goodness.
Jeez. This is where you cannot have a penalty. You can't give up 5 yards in the red zone. 6th penalty of the night against the Sooners. And you give up 5 yards of real estate down here where you're inside the 5-yard line, 3rd and 2. It becomes 3rd and 7 when the field's constricted and the holes are tight.
Illegal substitution. Defense.
Oh,
man
good.
in the formation. Out the distance to the goal.
Boy, the way they blew the whistle before the snap of the football and where he threw
Result
the
of the
flag.
yardage is 1st down.
I thought a receiver might have flinched, but it was 12 men in the huddle. And,
that hurts.
Chuck Amato and Terry not happy about that whatsoever. That's an automatic 1st down. They didn't have to run a play to generate a 1st down. Here they are, 1st and goal. It was 3rd and 2, half the distance to the goal, and moved the chains.
And now Mixon and P. Rod in the backfield, joining Baker Mayfield. 1st and goal for the Sooners. Straight up the middle, Samaje Perine, touchdown, Oklahoma. 21 rushing touchdowns last year for P. Ride, his first of 2015 tonight.
They had 40 rushing touchdowns as a team, and P. Ryan had over half of them.
That's amazing.
And he went in untouched. He scores in touch football. Nobody laid a fingernail on him. They had a little cross-buck action between Mixon and P. Ryan, and it worked perfectly.
Austin Seibert with the extra point is good. He's got 4 points tonight. Well, when you have the combination of Mixon and P. Ryan in the backfield and you are a defense and Sooners are 1st and goal from the 2, you're in trouble.
Little crossbuck action. That's what I'm talking about. Mixon comes across the formation, supposed to block on the very end of the line of scrimmage, misses his block, but it doesn't matter. P. Ryan's into the end zone untouched. But when you have 2 backs of that quality, they have to be unselfish and block for each other, and they both are willing and able to do that. And then with all the receiving skill set that Mixon has, they don't have to stay in the backfield. I'm telling you, as the season progresses and they start to get in a rhythm, it's going to be a lot of stress on defensive coordinators handling that package when you have Mixon and P. Ryan in the huddle. When they're in the huddle, it's like, are they going to stay at running back? Is one going to go to wide receiver? How are they going to unfold? That puts a lot of stress on a defensive coordinator and how to put your personnel groupings out there.
Well, of course, Deron Neal was the big man in that drive. He had a couple of very key catches. But how about Samaje Perine? 427 yards versus Kansas, a new FBS single game record. And we heard him talking about he didn't like the weather was raining. He hated being wet. But his offensive line says, no, you're staying in the ball game and you're going to get the record.
Yeah, and particularly, you know, his center, Ty Darlington, was like, we want this record. But this kid now, over 1,700 yards rushing, average 6.5 yards per rush, 21 touchdowns. Man, at Shevitz, that's real stuff.
You look at him now and watching him in practice on Thursday, and I was talking to Bob Stoops about it, and I said, he looks stronger and faster this year. And he goes, he is. That's scary. There's Van Edwards. He's going to let it go over his head. And Akron will have the football at the 20 with 5:32 left in the half. Let's take a look at the last drive. And Mayfield did a nice job reading his receivers.
Yeah, and he distributed the ball, get it out to Andrews. gets it on the perimeter to Neal, so he hits the ball down the middle, then to the perimeter, and then Pirine finishes it off up the gut. So when you're running this offense at quarterback, you're a point guard, just trying to distribute the ball to as many weapons as you can, as quickly as you possibly can, and try to stress that defense.
Now the Sooners that were struggling offensively now have 134 total yards to 77 for Akron. And they continue the musical chairs with quarterbacks as Trayvon Chapman comes back in out of Kent, Ohio, and Ashland Roosevelt High School. First and 10 from the 20. They give it to Hundley. Hundley out of Hamilton, Ohio. You're pretty familiar with him.
Yeah,
Xavier High School?
He went to St. X High School, which is in the GCL North, a very, very good conference. Moeller High School is in that same conference. Well, he got yanked down by the shoulder pad there. Hundley almost broke that bigger than you can see, but they grabbed that shoulder pad and pulled that jersey and kind of, made it a little bit uncomfortable for him.
Well, was able to pick up 5. Good chunk of yardage on first down.
Shoveled it.
Yeah, really. Kind of like that in football player. Chapman keeps it. Scampers got the first down, close to the 40-yard line, and that's what we'll mark it before Ahmad Thomas brings him down. From that strong safety spot, he picked up 10 on the play.
Have to stay in your gaps. That time the defense responded to Hundley too much. Chapman put it in Hundley's belly and took it out, and he had a zone read, and he just read the backside defensive end who collapsed going after Hundley, and he was out the door behind him.
And the Sooner defense has done such a great job against the rush tonight. Good chunk of change there by Chapman with 4:30 to play in the half. They stack receivers on the top of your screen. Chapman goes to one of them, incomplete. Intended for Amani Davis, but the Sooners good defense on that far side by Thomas.
Thomas is light years better than he was as a true freshman. His feet were poor. He was guessing on routes. He's playing very square this year. He's playing with a lot more confidence, and he got picked on last year because nobody wanted to attack Sanchez, and they went after the true freshman, and he had on-the-job training. Some of it was painful, but he is light years improved.
I'll tell you, just from spring, coaches were telling us how much he's improved too. I mean, he's finally getting it. Once again, he's just a sophomore out of Klein, Texas. Chapman looks, throws. Not sure who he's throwing to. Maybe Coach Bowden. Okay, we'll go Andrew Pratt.
Andrew Pratt, another Cincinnati high school player, played at Lebanon High School and had himself a good career there.
Chapman now 0 for 4 throwing the football, and they're facing 3rd down and 10. And tonight they're just 1 of 7 on 3rd down.
Yeah, neither team lighting it up on 3rd down. Pirine on the run before the touchdown, that was the 3rd down conversion due to penalty was one of the first ones of the evening.
Lane goes to the top of your screen, being guarded by Jordan Thomas. And they'll keep it on the ground with Hundley, and he'll be short of the 1st down. Up over the 45 to the 47-yard line. That'll be a pickup of 7.
They're going to go for it. They're debating it here.
Okronkwo on the stop. Obo, the sophomore out of Houston, Texas.
And deciding not to, I think, a wise decision.
Yeah.
You don't want to give Oklahoma a short field. If you're unsuccessful, they only have to negotiate half a football field, and they have still 3 minutes and 50 seconds left.
Well, Zach Paul, he has had a lot of work tonight. 7 punts in the ball game. Shepard standing back at his 12.
His right leg's about an inch longer than his left right now.
He's going to ice it down the whole time on the plane ride home. Tries to kick it away from Shepard. Shepard says, does everybody get away from it? Marked down at the 20-yard line. Want to remind you, coming up on the Ford Halftime Report, a heartwarming feature on singing Oklahoma guard Neela Casatati. You've got to see this feature, I promise you. Plus, we'll look back at Samaje Perine's record-setting performance at Kansas and a recap of the first half action. It's all coming up in a few minutes on the Ford Halftime Report. And the man that's going to be hosting it all, he never stops, ladies and gentlemen, Chad McKee.
Yeah, Neela Casatati is an amazing story. Grew up in American Samoa and the hardships he had to endure as a kid. There's a great feature story by Jessica Cootie on Soonersports.com right now. And we'll have more on him singing at the OU Children's Hospital coming up at halftime. It's a special one.
Boy, it is definitely that. Flowers and Pirine now in the backfield. Inside at 3.5 to play in the opening half. Mixon, I should say, in the backfield. Picks up 11 on the play. Going back to Casatati, this young man out of Euless, Texas, Grew up in Samoa, and boy, I tell you, his story is just gut-wrenching, but a great story of success by this young man. Sooners put it in high gear. Mayfield over the middle, pass complete. Shepard breaks the tackle, looking for a block. Inside the 35, down to the 32-yard line. Sterling Shepard, 38 yards on the reception, his second catch of the night.
Well, you had a case where Mixon pounded him in the running game for 11 yards. Then they got the one-on-one coverage on Shepard they were looking for and abused it.
Mixon bangs his way inside the 30, down to about the 29-yard line. Here it is again.
Nice route. He just takes it, runs a little post in the middle of the field. He has one-on-one coverage with a safety, and he basically leaves his athletic supporter behind as he's faked out of his jockstrap there. Nice run after catch by Shepard.
Well, you know, last year prior to this game, we talked to him. He said he spent the preseason and the spring working on his speed and his release. It really paid off last year until he got hurt. Mayfield steps up in the pocket, looks down the middle, has a man. Touchdown, Oklahoma, D.D. Westbrook. What a catch by Westbrook.
Look at Mayfield celebrate. That's what I'm talking about. Unbridled passion and joy about playing football, and his teammates appreciate that. And he put the ball where his receiver could make a play on a D.D. Westbrook. When you start running the football, it becomes easier to throw the football. If you're not running it, it's tough to be one-dimensional.
Mayfield's first touchdown pass as a Sooner. Westbrook's first touchdown reception as a Sooner. Seibert with the extra point. It is good. You look at Westbrook, he's got great ball skills, but it starts up front, Dave.
It does. You have to have solid protection. They pick everything up.
Number 97.
Baker Mayfield climbs the pocket, sees Westbrook. A one-handed catch with the left hand, brings it in, does Westbrook, and Baker Mayfield says, yeah, baby, I threw my first touchdown pass as an Oklahoma Sooner quarterback. I like it.
That's what makes him special. Now, the Sooners were holding on the extra point, so they're going to have to try it again. They're going to spot it at the 20.
This is like in the NFL. The extra point now is moved back. It's a 30-yard attempt for an extra point in the NFL, and he's going to do it this time.
And Seibert will attempt it. He has been impressive tonight, punting and kicking. He's a cake.
He has got a powerful right leg.
And if you want to see how powerful, just go to YouTube and type in his name. They've got some video on there that is just incredible.
He's pretty rocked up now. He's been in the weight room.
Well, of course, Bob Stoops beginning his 17th season at Oklahoma, and I think even for Bob, it is pretty special.
It's a lot more fun when you're coming off a Sugar Bowl win or a national championship or a Big 12 championship, but when you're in 17 years, that doesn't happen every single year. So we're just a year removed from that, so we'll try and get back to it. So nothing's like clockwork. Everything every year adjusts to some degree, but we know what to anticipate and what to expect, you know, when you've been in it 16 going on 17 years for sure.
OU's all-time win leader, 16 bowl appearances, won the national title in 2000. I'll tell you what, you look at what he has done, that is impressive.
You know, it really is. You've won almost 80% of your games. I mean, come on now. He's won every single BCS bowl.
Yeah.
No other program can claim that. Bob Stoops is a football coach extraordinaire. 16
straight bowl games for the Sooners. Only 3 teams have longer streaks than Oklahoma, Virginia Tech, Georgia, and Georgia Tech. How about that for the Sooners? Last 6 drives, last 2 drives, 140 yards. First 6 drives, 74 yards.
Well, they found a rhythm, and one of the reasons they found the rhythm is they quit hurting themselves with penalties. I mean, they were playing in front of the chains instead of behind them.
And that was probably the #1 key of all the coaches. Stay away from penalties coming into this game. Edwards again will just let it go into the end zone.
I'll tell you, Seibert, that's a weapon. He eliminates kickoff returns. Kicking it out of the end zone like that, I mean, they don't even get a chance to hurt you on a kickoff return. This kid's going to dictate a lot of field position.
Tell Akron with 99 yards here in the opening half, 57 on the run. And the rush defense of Oklahoma has been outstanding, just like it was last season, though. But even Mike Stoops was telling us in the spring, Dave, that they needed to find that balance on defense with, people passing against them and also running on them.
No question.
Let's check in with Chad.
Guys, right after that touchdown catch, D.D. Westbrook was kind of escorted to the locker room. Didn't see him noticeably favoring anything. Wasn't limping. Had his helmet off, but headed toward the locker room. We'll try to get an update for you on him at halftime.
Chad, do you think Baker Mayfield beat him up in that celebration?
That's a possibility.
I mean, what the heck? Yeah, he didn't look like he was hurt.
Start. Offense. Number 7. 5-yard penalty. First down.
Well, both teams now with 6 penalties in this opening half.
And Jerome Lane.
Yeah.
He joins the party. The beat goes on. Both teams are, again, you're behind the chains. It's 1st and 15. Holding penalties, makes it 1st and 20. Those are the kind of things that kill you. Oklahoma's early 3rd down conversion opportunities, 3rd and 12, 3rd and 16. Those are tough to make.
Chapman keeps it, and Sooners just surround him. He'll get back to the line of scrimmage, but that will be it with 2:13 left in the half. And once again, Akron out of timeouts. Devontae Bond, the senior out of Sacramento, California. I'll tell you, Mike Stoops has not a problem, but a great problem to have with Bond and Stryker playing the same position. Both guys extremely talented, but you really can't play them together.
Yeah, they are. They've done it already this game, and they're on the football field together now. Stryker's up at the opposite end. You get Bond down low and Stryker up high. So you go a little bit small when you do this, but they're running that package.
Hundley gets a couple of yards as the clock continues to move. We've got a timeout in Oklahoma.
Second charge timeout of the half.
They want to get the ball back. They want another opportunity. Second, with it being 3rd and long, if not much time goes off the clock with an incompletion or they get a turnover, they get a short field. Maybe they'll even try to block the punt attempt. They just want another opportunity to put points up on the board.
Well, Akron's only completed 1 pass so far tonight. That was to Jerome Lane. It covered 42 yards. His dad, by the same name, Jerome Lane, he was 6'6", 230 pounds, played for Pitt in the 80s. First-round pick back in 1988 by the Denver Nuggets, played up to the year 2000, and he was known for crushing backboards. Send it in, Jerome. And here's a trivia question. He's very familiar with this area. Played for the Oklahoma City Cavalry in the CBA.
Would have been a heck of a tight end. Look at that body now.
Oh, my goodness.
That guy's put together.
I remember when he played at Pitt. He was a monster.
He is, and was, and is. And his son's a genetic phenomenon as well. I mean, 6'3", 225 pounds, runs in the 4.5s. He's the real deal.
And I think the coaches, he was actually the starting safety. That's where they had him in the depth chart at the beginning of the week. And then
he played there last year.
Yeah, he played there last year. And they tell us this week, hey, we moved him.
Yeah, they felt like they needed a playmaker wide receiver, and he's their best option.
Well, he was a running back in high school. Now he's a wide receiver. 3rd down and 12 for Akron. 1:37 left to play in the half. Hundley gets back to the original line of scrimmage. OU with 1 timeout left.
Timeout.
And they will use it.
3rd and final charge timeout of the half.
So now they've got some decent returns, but penalties have negated the yardage. So Bob Stoops is thinking, let's try it again and see if we can not be so handsy. No illegal blocks in the back, no holding, and maybe they'll heat the punter up. See if Bob Stoops over the years with special teams have blocked a lot of punts. Will they show this on tape? Here we come. We're going to get after the punt. Who knows?
So what the Oklahoma defense has done has been outstanding on 3rd down. Akron just 1 of 9 on 3rd down conversions so far tonight.
And the key is, Ron, like Oklahoma was struggling with early in the game, 3rd and long. When you're 3rd and 7 or more, those are tough to convert. You have to be 3rd and 4 or less to have a high conversion on 3rd down.
Every Wednesday on Fox Sports Oklahoma, get inside the huddle with Sooner Playbook. Expert analysis from Sooners that played the game. Sooner Playbook is the perfect midweek football fix. Sooners didn't block a punt last season. Let's see if they come after it tonight.
We saw Jay Boulware, special teams coordinator as well as running back coach.
And they're just going to peel it back. Boomer. Shepard backs up to the 20. Straight ahead. Ooh, makes a couple of guys
hurt. Ball's
loses
out.
the football. Still the scrum on the field. Akron's got it.
Wow. Wow.
Oh, that's a turn of events.
Did that backfire?
Rolling on the field is a fumble. Recovered by Akron. First down.
Boy, Shepard trying to get everything he could. Wasn't good enough with the ball security. He does a nice job, makes the first guy miss. A little bit loose with the football with that right hand, and the ball comes out. And not really big contact on the football, but it's hot out, sweaty arm. He had the ball kind of curled to his forearm and lost it as he get knocked off his feet. The ball just came out before he hit the ground.
And they've got 118 to work with. They put the ball at about the 31-yard line, and Shepard usually very sure-handed. Christian Allen is the one who came up with the football for Akron.
First turnover of the game run.
Yeah.
That hasn't been a big issue so far.
118 to play. Let's see if the Sooner defense can stand tall now again. Pulls in the lineup. Right down the middle. Pass complete. First down inside the 20 down to the 19-yard line.
Good call.
Excellent call.
They ran a little zone read fake and a little pop pass down the football field. Watch the fake zone read, release the tight end blocks, and then releases, slow blocks, and finds himself open. That's a good play, and it was well executed.
Newman Williams, nice job, the redshirt freshman. Olin Hunley now in the backfield. 1st and 10 from the 19. Hunley, little stutter step. Dragging people as he gets down to the 15-yard line. Clock with 40 seconds left in the half.
Remember, Stein missed a chip shot. You know, Akron should have 3 points on the board already. Will that affect how coach calls plays here?
Cole looks left, throws left. Pass complete inside the 10 to Davis. They'll mark him out at the 9-yard line.
Well, tried to go for the interception. Instead of trying to make a play on the ball, tried to pick it off, and didn't come up with the football, and the ball's completed. Watch the break on the football. Watch Bird break on it. Tried to make an interception on it instead of making sure he knocked it out of there.
21 seconds left. Akron 1st and goal from the 9 out of timeouts. Cole looks, a little slanted pass knocked down at the line of scrimmage. Tapper got the big paw on it.
Tapper put the tap on it. He just spiked it down there like a former basketball player. Goes up for a rebound. Could have picked it. Big boy, you got the hands to do that. I mean, it hit him right in the hands, and he almost made a play on it.
And you were very impressed reading the article about how Tapper said,
right,
listen, I did not play what I should have as well as I should have last year.
You know, a good ability to have is accountability.
Yeah.
And he showed some accountability right there. He's gearing up for a big season because he feels he underachieved last year, and he feels that's on him, obviously.
2nd down and goal. 18 seconds left in the half. Cole looks, has time, throws into the corner. Body's getting tangled up. Incomplete. Goodman was the intended receiver. Got his feet tangled up with Jordan Thomas.
Yeah, they were both locked up. This looked like our World Wrestling right here. They're both locking each other up and going to the ground. Goodman fell down. He was going down before Thomas even got his hands on him. So good non-call right there. Really, Goodman prevented Thomas from trying to make an interception on the football by taking him to the ground when he slipped.
I think Goodman said, if I'm going down, you're going with me.
Could be.
And here it is. 3rd and goal with 13 seconds left for Akron. Pull into the corner again, intended for Goodman, incomplete.
No chance. Never kept the ball on the field. I mean, no chance whatsoever. So here comes the kicker, Robert Stein, who missed the first one and hit the upright. Will he be able to execute this time?
We talked about his numbers early on. Very impressive numbers. Kyle Foster will be the holder. This will be officially a 26-yard attempt for Stein. He was 5 of 6 in this area last season. Good hold. And the kick is good. So with 6 seconds left in the half, Terry Bowden and company, they get on the board.
Well, Bob Stoops wanted to get one more possession, used the timeouts to get it, and you know, his normally reliable return guy, Sterling Shepard, in terms of ball security, let him down by spitting the ball up. And short field for Akron, and they convert with a field goal. I think, though, Bob Stoops would do that again if he had the opportunity to make the same decision.
So kind of put your thinking cap on here. What is his halftime speech going to be?
His halftime speech is going to be, let's take the Oklahoma Sooners off the schedule tonight. You know, we don't, seriously, we're our own worst enemy out here, guys. You know, every time the ball's kicked, we put it on the ground, or we have penalties. You know, we have penalties offensively that are setting us back behind the chains. We're making it hard on ourselves. Why don't we just go out and play a good, clean half of football, execute, play with sound fundamentals and technique, and see what happens, see how good Akron is. You know, we're helping Akron tonight. Let's not do that. 6 penalties, 50 yards for the Sooners tonight, more than they averaged per game last year. And you can see what Coach Bowden's teams did. 7 plays, 22 yards, 72 seconds. They got on the board. The Zips don't have a zip on the board right now.
That's
so
right.
It gives him a little bit of something to talk about as they head into the locker room.
Now Ross and Neal set to return the kick. And they're just going to squib it. They don't want either one of those guys getting it, but they're still going to get it. And it's going to be Ross, and he is going to be brought down quickly before he gets up to the 25-yard line.
This could be a genuflect, take the knee and go in at halftime and talk about it. You know, 3 seconds to go. You're not in tremendous field position. This may just be let's not do anything crazy.
Now Lincoln Riley talking, making sure they've got all the signals all on the same page on that with 3 seconds left, leading 17-3.
Boy, the way he's coaching off, you think he might be saying, let's take one shot. Let's take a shot down the field. But I think the way Shepard's back there, this is going to be a kneel down. He's back there to prevent if there's a mishap, a fumble or something. He's there as a last line of defense. It's going to take the knee and take the half.
Well, it was 3-0 at the end of the first quarter. The Sooners opened up a 17-0 lead. Akron just scored. Oklahoma with 214 total yards in that opening half. Akron with 126. And the air raid accounted for 190 of Oklahoma's total yards. I'll tell you, I think there's going to be a lot of talking, but I don't think the Sooners are in that panic mode by any stretch of the imagination.
No.
Baker Mayfield, nice job tonight, 13 of 21, 190 yards and a touchdown. Here's Chad with Coach Stoops.
Coach, defense gives up less than 130 yards. What got the offense kind of clicking on those last 2 drives?
Well, just made a few big plays, got a sense of some timing, you know, picking up some first downs, and then able to get them on their heels a little bit. So we just got to execute better in, you know, some of the earlier part of the game.
All right, Coach, we'll let you get in there.
Thank you.
Guys, back to you.
All right, Chad, thank you so much. Halftime score 17-3. The Sooners over Akron at intermission. When we return, it'll be the Forward Halftime Report with a heartwarming feature on singing lineman Neela Casatani, and a look back at Samaje Perine's record-setting performance at Kansas, and a recap of the first 30 minutes of football. You're watching Oklahoma Sooners football on Fox Sports. 17-3 is our halftime score. The Oklahoma Sooners leading the Zips of Akron. Along with Dave Lapham, I'm Ron Thulin. And Dave, I think a lot of Sooner fans are probably kind of frustrated at this score, but all they have to look at, penalties for Oklahoma. Big key.
Yeah, we were kidding during the halftime break that if you get points for penalties, it'd be a high-scoring game. I mean, both teams penalized 6 times. The Sooners penalized 50 yards, half a football field. That prevents you from getting into any kind of rhythm, offensively or with your special teams. A lot of returns nullified, a lot of big plays offensively nullified.
Let's take a look at some of the highlights from the first 30 minutes of play. The first quarter ended 3-0 Oklahoma, but Baker Mayfield did have some bright spots, including that catch by Deron Neal.
Yeah, that contested catch, that 50-50 ball, he wins it strong at the apex. Field goal ensues. And now you get, one of your best players not playing with good technique. A little hesitation move, stop and go move by Lane. Beats Sanchez. But here come back with Neal again. Gets him on the doorstep of the goal line. And Perine goes in basically untouched. And at that point, Oklahoma in a little bit of rhythm. Again, Shepard can make you miss. The fun starts after he receives the football. Remember, he's a returner in space. He's dangerous. And how about D.D. Westbrook with the one-handed catch? And Baker Mayfield loves it.
I think that was the highlight, though, is Mayfield high-stepping towards him. As we take a look at the Ford halftime stats, and you can see the total yards. Sooners 212 to 125 for Akron. But the big one again, penalties.
Yeah, penalties and honestly rushing yards. 22 yards on 17 carries. Got to run the football better. You can't throw it if you can't run it.
A lot of football left in Norman's second half coming up straight ahead. Welcome back to Oklahoma football on Fox Sports, presented by Deep Root. The 19th ranked Oklahoma Sooners, 16 straight years, preseason top 20. They're leading the Akron Zips at intermission 17-3, along with Dave Lapham, Chad McKee. I'm Ron Poole. Good to have you with us today. Yeah, there's been a lot of other action today is college football. Forget about Thursday night and Friday. Saturday, the first weekend of college football is huge, but Oklahoma State on Thursday did able to eke out the win over Central Michigan, and Baylor struggled in the first half against SMU, but they exploded. Cliff Kingsbury and company had a little bit of problem with Sam Houston today, and at the second, Notre Dame leading Texas, Iowa State, Northern Iowa tied up. Also on Thursday, TCU beat Minnesota. Kansas upset today by San Diego State because they had a terrible first half.
Yeah, South Dakota State.
Yeah. And West Virginia leading Georgia Southern. That is in the second. And we are ready for our second half of play. Ibert kicks it away and say goodbye. Van Edwards is going to take a knee. That's the shortest kick he had. Maybe he's getting tired.
Yeah.
Maybe not.
He still had good hang time on it, and it was bobbled. And once you bobble that kind of a kick and you're 5 yards in the end zone, time to take the knee.
Well, you know, we talk about how Akron is not intimidated playing here. You got to go back to 2013. They played before 107,000 people at Michigan. They lost 28-24, had a chance to win it on a 4th and goal play.
Yep.
Last year lost to Penn State on the road 21-3 before 97,000. So Kyle Pohl, he has been in these situations. He's not intimidated by it.
And they beat Pitt.
Yeah.
21-10. So, yeah, these venues, they accept the challenge.
And Pohl will get the start of the second half. Chapman started the first half. Looking to throw. Out pattern, incomplete, intended for Michael Means, the junior out of Cincinnati, Ohio.
There was a coverage breakdown there. Means was wide open, but the throw not accurate enough. Little zone read play action and just pulls the trigger a little bit wide open for the catch.
I think that's part of the problem for Akron right now. They've got to find that receiver who's going to make those catches and also be a game breaker. And I don't think they know who it is right now.
Yeah, they're hoping Lane gives them a little bit of that. That's why they made that move.
Pohl has missed his last 4 passes. 2nd and 10. Sooners hitching up to the line of scrimmage. They give it to Hundley. He is stacked up after a pickup of about 2.5.
Well, the Sooner defense started the game, I think, with 3 straight 3-and-outs. So they want to probably start the second half with the same situation right there. Tapper making the play.
Well, it looked like Tapper got up and started hobbling a little bit. And, you know, we were talking at halftime about possible cramps for some of these guys. He's okay, staying in the game. It is a warm and humid night.
And the roster depth has got to tip toward Oklahoma. There's no doubt about that.
On 3rd down, Jerome Lane wide to the top of your screen for the Zips. Pohl sees the pressure, fires out to Lane. Pass is complete. He's got the first down.
7-on-7 out there in the perimeter, 1-on-1. Lane is a big guy, gets off the line of scrimmage, plants the foot, separates, comes back to the football. He's just scratching the surface. The coaches are excited about what he can become because he doesn't know what he doesn't know right now in terms of playing receiver. He is just pure, raw athletic ability.
You know, talk to the coaches. I asked one of them, describe him. He said, incredible athlete.
Sure.
Fresh set of downs for the Zips. Pohl's going to be swarmed over back at the 20 or 35-yard line. Loss of 2 on the play. And Eric Stryker was the one who led the charge along with Matt Diamond.
Yeah, Diamond's doing a good job inside. And they ended up running a quarterback ISO. Faked the ball to Hundley. He was the lead blocker, and then Pohl was going to follow him. And, boy, Oklahoma diagnosed that, snuffed it out, and threw it for a loss.
You talked about the depth, and I think for Oklahoma, a lot of that's on the defensive line.
Yeah, they can roll 8 guys in there, no doubt.
after the loss of 2, second down and 12. Pull the quick out pattern caught at the 40-yard line. Again, it is Jerome Lane, his 3rd catch of the evening.
Nice job by Jordan Thomas coming up and ending the journey quickly. No yards after catch. That's tough to tackle a big athlete like that in space one-on-one and make it a 3rd and long situation for your defense.
Well, Jordan Thomas did not start the first quarter of this ball game. And it was kind of a disciplinary measure, but yeah, able to play the second, not a big deal.
Nip it in the bud.
Yep. Lane 3 catches, 56 yards so far tonight. The Zips facing 3rd down. 2 of 11 in that opening half. Pohl's got a scramble, not his forte, throws across his body, incomplete.
Yeah, Stryker pressured him, and Pohl had to roll to his left, snap his shoulder pads around, plant his feet, and try to throw as a right-hander. That's a tough throw to make, and no chance to get it done. They converted their first 3rd down, did the Zips, but the second 3rd down, Oklahoma gets the football.
Now, Joe Mixon is back to return this punt. Remember, the Sterling Shepard did have a fumble in that first half, so Mixon's going to try his hand at it. Penalty flag is thrown, and Mixon says, get away from it. Smart move. And Akron will down it.
Yeah, I think it's a smart move to have Mixon returning punts. You know, he's got great hands. Bob Stoops at practice said that he catches the ball as a return guy better than anybody. And I said, you going to use him? He said, I think we are, you know. And any way you can get him reps is a good way to...
Illegal formation, offense, not enough men on the line of scrimmage. 5-yard penalty. We play 4th down.
You can't, just like an offensive lineman or a receiver, somebody has to get up in the line of scrimmage to make it legal. Has to be, you can't have 6, has to be 7. And they didn't. They didn't have enough men up in the line of scrimmage, so Akron has to kick it over.
And when Oklahoma at the end of last season said, okay, we need to work on certain areas, I think one of them was punt return. They only averaged 5.8 yards a return.
The 5-yard penalty will be added to the end of the kick. 1st down, Oklahoma.
Okay, and they want to get a little more yardage out of that.
No doubt. You know, they were great with kickoff returns. You know, they had the all-conference kickoff returner in Alex Ross. But in terms of punt returns, not efficient enough. Lincoln Riley getting one last word in with his offensive group, firing them up to come out with a little bit of rhythm right away.
Well, there's D.D. Westbrook. We saw him after the big touchdown catch go off the field, but he is back on, and he's okay. And the Sooners will have it 1st and 10, ball at the 24-yard line as they begin their first possession of the second half, leading 17-3. Pete Ryan and Mixon in the backfield. Mayfield looks, wide open. Mixon inside the 30, looking for a block from Westbrook, gets it, touchdown Oklahoma.
Westbrook blocked his defender from the 20-yard line in. He sustained a block, a downfield block, as well as I've ever seen. What, 76-yard touchdown play right there? Mixon is the play-action fake, and then he goes out in an arrow route, and they don't cover him. A lot of times defenses let the guy that they fake the run to, they let him go. You can't let Mixon go. He says, you'll pay. And Westbrook made sure. What a downfield block by Westbrook. Big time.
How about D.D. Westbrook? His first touchdown catch he gets tonight as a Sooner. Joe Mixon, his first touchdown as an Oklahoma Sooner. Baker Mayfield, a couple of touchdown tosses as a Sooner tonight. You get Joe Mixon the ball, Davis, say goodbye.
Fake to Mixon, and they drop coverage on him because they faked the ball to him and then forgot about him. Down the field. Look at Westbrook. Blocking from the 20-yard line. Woo!
High stepping it in for Baker Mayfield.
Man, he's going to hurt somebody.
Last 3 Sooner drives, 216 yards, 21 points, but the big one just happened.
Yeah, it sure did. Mixon, running back, but he's the receiving threat out of the backfield. Let's watch him come out on the arrow route. Fake to him. They drop coverage on him. Can we freeze it? He's wide open. 4 defenders covering 1. Uh-oh. Somebody makes an assignment error in coverage. Mixon's wide open. Baker Mayfield finds him. And look at Westbrook down the field. Picks him up at the 20-yard line. Boom. Boom. One more time. Touchdown. What a play.
You love to see the wide receivers block
For each other. Yep.
for each other.
Yep.
I think Dennis Simmons, the outside wide receiver coach, he's going to be pretty excited. Edwards won't get a chance. Seibert again, no kicks returned tonight. Let's take a look at our Ford scoring drive for tonight, all capitalized by that young man, Joe Mixon, the redshirt freshman. Only took him 14 seconds to go 76 yards.
Joe Mixon, we talked about the Swiss Army knife.
Yeah.
The Swiss Army knife, Ron, you know, you get the blade, you get the screwdriver, you get the bottle opener, you get everything in that Swiss Army knife. It's versatile. It gives you a whole bunch of things, a lot of tools. Well, Joe Mixon has a lot of tools. He's a Swiss Army knife of the offense. He can run it. He can catch it. He can block. Let's see if he can throw it. What the heck? He can return punts.
Why not?
Yeah, sell popcorn, tear tickets, do it all.
Well, now Akron finds themselves in a 21-point hole early on here in quarter number 3, and Kyle Pohl's going to probably try to throw him out of it. You go back to the first year of Akron, they set a bunch of records throwing the football, but Terry Bowden says we got to start running the ball. Pohl puts it up. Pass is incomplete.
Not a bad ball, though. I mean, the coverage was pretty good. There was a tight window there they couldn't quite execute. Stephen Parker doing a good job. He's tight enough in coverage. Has to be a perfect ball. Not too bad a throw, really. A catchable football, not finalized.
I'd say Stephen Parker is an immensely talented young man. Good size. He's improved. Very versatile. Coaches say he can play just about every defensive position except for defensive line. They like that.
Another Swiss Army knife.
There you go. Versatile players. 2nd down and 10 for Pohl and company. Donald.
Not much going there. Game, and once again Akron faces another 3rd and long. Anytime it's 3rd and 7 or more, Mike Stoops likes that. He can pressure in many different ways out of many different looks up front.
And it is 3rd down. They need 8. Pohl throws incomplete. Be forced to kick it away.
Nice coverage once again in the secondary, and the guy that has to be pretty happy is Kerry Cooks, the new defensive backfield coach they got out from Notre Dame. And he's doing a great job of teaching, pounding fundamentals and techniques into his guys in the secondary. And Bob Stoops really likes the way they're communicating back there as well as playing. They're all playing very square with their technique. Good to see.
And Mixon goes back again for the punt. Standing at the 35-yard line. He's going to back him up a little bit. Loses the football. He's got it. Little hesitation. Stays on his feet. Able to get up close to the 35-yard line. Mixon's 76-yard touchdown reception. We've got a penalty flag.
Oh, yeah, it's a special teams kick. It's got to be a flag.
Yeah, of course it is.
Man, there's been a bunch of them. Whew.
Holding. Receiving team, number 40. 10-yard penalty. Be added to the end of the kick. 1st down, Oklahoma.
The holding occurred very early in coverage.
Now it's going to be backed up now inside the 25-yard line, but the Sooners will have it, leading by 21. Oklahoma football on Fox Sports is brought to you by Academy Sports and Outdoors, the preferred sporting goods retailer of Sooner Sports. By Delta Dental. Find your smile, Delta Dental. And by OU Medicine, keeping Oklahoma alive and well. Part of the Heisman Trophy statues outside of the stadium. And we'll tie it into Akron because Akron used to be called Bucktail College. And one of their coaches used to be John Heisman.
You are a plethora of college football knowledge.
Total minutia. We'll tell you what zips actually means in a little bit later on. Mayfield tries the same pass. This time goes upstairs off the fingertips of Westbrook. He tried to do almost the same thing with Mixon. He looked to the left again, but this time Westbrook was streaking down the middle.
Yeah, this was a throwback pass. Mayfield is going to roll to his right. He's looking left the whole time, stops and plants it back, a throwback basically thrown outside the right hash mark all the way back to the left hash mark and just off the fingertips of Westbrook. That would have been pretty to connect.
Flowers and P. Ryan now in the backfield for the Sooners. Run game hasn't done a whole lot. P. Ryan bouncing off tackles. That's his best run of the evening, and that'll be a penalty.
Yep. And they did it in front of their own bench. Now they're in front of the Oklahoma bench, and they're throwing punches.
At one of the coaches.
Yeah, I mean, hey, come on, big boy.
Flowers getting into it now.
Boy, oh boy, I'll tell you. You know, that's the second time that they've taken a late shot more than 5 yards out of bounds. The first time it was Shepard in front of their own bench, and he went over the bench. This time it was in front of Oklahoma's bench, and when that happens, it gets a little salty down there.
It takes either not a whole lot of intelligence or guts to start a fight on the opposing team's bench.
So they have to sort this one out. I mean, I wonder if they're going to go offsetting because they're looking at Oklahoma's bench to see if anybody retaliated. So it's obvious that that Akron started the action, but was there retaliation from Oklahoma? And if that's the case, they're going to offset.
After the play, personal foul, late hit out of bounds, defense. Number 3, 15-yard penalty, and end of the run, automatic first down.
No retaliation. Everything was okay after that.
Daryl Monroe, number 3, is the one that the penalty was on.
P. Ryan, little power there, breaks the tackle, breaks the second tackle. He's well out of bounds, and man, another freebie shot there was Dylan Evans.
Yeah,
he's made a lot of tackles, but that one, he's smart enough. He's got football IQ. He's smart enough. He knows he was way out of bounds.
Now P. Ryan, his best run of the evening. Now Mixon goes in the slot, but instead they just get it to Westbrook quickly, gets a couple of blocks up to the 45-yard line, pickup of 3. Monroe on the stop. Oh, look at P. Ryan. Just, don't touch me here.
Yeah, and he knows he's well out of bounds. So he just kind of chokes it down, and then here we go. Yeah, you're not going to take a shot at our guy like that. We're going to protect our guy. And look at this. Coach is trying to separate. He picks the biggest guy. That's pretty good action to take the D lineman out.
Yeah, really. And it is P. Ryan this time, stopped right at the line of scrimmage. Inside of 9:45 now to play in quarter number 3. Sooners leading at 24-3.
Good finish by Samia, who's a true freshman. He's in the game now at the right tackle position. He's getting some snaps. He finished this block pretty darn well.
Coaches were very high on him when we talked to him this week. The freshman out of Sacramento, California, 6'4", 284.
Has earned playing time.
Yes, he has. Brings up a third down for the Sooners. We'll call it about 8. Mayfield hands it off. P. Ryan looks for the outside. Leans forward. He'll be just short of the first down. Maybe by about a foot.
Now, does Bob Stoops say, I want a little attitude right here, and I'm going to go for it on 4th down because it's 4th and very short, and the fans want him to, obviously. Well, they're stretching that jersey. P. Ryan's T-shirt might have to be changed, and they are going for it. It's 4th down and just a skosh.
Well, I was watching Bob Stoops, and he went right up to Lincoln Riley when that play ended and said, go for it. Go. You could see him moving his arms.
Only rushed for 22 yards on 17 carries in the first half. He wants an attitude adjustment.
P. Ryan, the lone man of the backfield. He's got it. First down, breaking tackles inside the 35 down to the 34-yard line.
Nice job. Just kind of bounced it down the line of scrimmage. He runs so low to the ground. I mean, he's got a long upper torso and short legs, so he doesn't give you much hitting surface. And when he gets that good body lean, people just slide off of him. He's got tremendous balance, good contact balance. He liked it.
Yeah, and it's a first down for Oklahoma. Mayfield changing the play. Looks, throws, rifle in the short pass. Maybe picking up 3 or 4 on the reception by Jarvis Baxter. A nice little game.
Well, that's what this spread offense is all about. Spread the defense out and attack every quadrant of the football field. Short middle, deep middle, short right, short left, deep middle, deep left. I mean, attack every quadrant, and that's what this offense is capable of doing. And Oklahoma has enough weapons to get it done. Lincoln Riley wants to do that.
8th play of the drive upcoming. Mixon back in the backfield. On second down, Mayfield rifle in the pass. Wow. First down catch. Shepard inside the 15 down to the 11-yard line.
Well, Shepard did a great job of reading the zone defense, got between safety and linebacker, and watch Dylan Evans, number 54, the linebacker. He has to try to come up and make a tackle, and whoops, see you later.
His third catch of the night, the quick pass to Meade, looking for the end zone, touchdown.
What a block by Jarvis Baxter. Oh, my goodness.
First collegiate catch for Jeffrey Meade. We saw him in the spring game where he had 93 receiving yards.
And once again, blocking for your teammate, Jarvis Baxter, he basically allowed that touchdown to happen. He gave him a clear path inside the pylon to finish that in the end zone. Excellent block on the perimeter.
Meade earned playing time as Seibert on to tack on the extra point. Not a problem. Meade earned playing time in the spring. The sophomore out of Tulsa, Oklahoma. The coaches say he's a bright young man, and he's really come on. And he gets his first collegiate touchdown. So with 7:11 left to play in quarter number 3, the Sooners now leading Akron 31-3. .141 yards total offense for the Sooners in this quarter. 31-3, Oklahoma leads it, but the blocking of the wide receivers tonight, Dave, has been outstanding.
Absolutely, Ryan. Meade gets the credit, but look at Baxter, number 1, block up. And he's going to get outside position, and Meade says, thank you very much, this is easy. And just finish him into the end zone about 5 yards. Look at him finish here. Drive, sustain, finish, block. That is big time. Yeah. When you're blocking like that on the edge for your teammate, one guy is getting all the credit, but the blue-collar guy, the guy that did the dirty work, Jarvis Baxter, Meade appreciates him.
Nick Hodgson's going to kick it away. I tell you, D.D. Westbrook had the big block on Mixon's touchdown, and then that one by Baxter. Edwards, about 8 yards deep.
And Larry Hope, the number 2 for Akron, he's the guy that got blocked on both touchdowns. Yep. Larry Hope has no hope.
Check in with Chad. How you doing, buddy?
I'm great. You know, Jeffrey Meade, there's a good internet video, and I know Sooner fans, a lot of them have seen it, but he makes a 50-yard one-handed, backhanded grab standing in the end zone off one of those ball machines. You know, they fire them high into the air to simulate punt returns and the like, but there's a great internet video circulating of Jeffrey Meade, and idea of the kind of hands that this guy has.
I tell you, he's good. 6'6", 184. We saw him in practice yesterday, and the first thing we said was, wow, he's skinny.
Well, he does have big muckers on him, though.
Yeah, he does.
Man, they're like suction cups.
Chapman back in at quarterback, and he won't get a whole lot, maybe 2 yards on the play.
And now this becomes difficult for Akron because you're down 31-3, and the natural instinct is to fire it, and they don't have much of a passing attack, so Coach Bowden right now is in a tough quandary. I mean, do you run it, try to take time off the clock? If you throw 3 straight downs and all incompletions, you know, you're 1, 2, 3 and out, and defense is right back out in the field getting fatigued.
Second down and 8, 6:30 to 8 left to play in quarter number 3. Chapman looks to throw off his back foot. That doesn't go anywhere.
Went in the first row. Nice catch by the fan.
Really?
How about that? Yeah.
I think they should let him keep it.
I think he was trying to throw it to the girl, though, and the guy caught it. He intercepted it.
You know, I want to talk about Coach Bowden just a second, because a lot of people always say, you know, he had a nice gig as a broadcaster. Why to get back into coaching? Talking to him this week and again yesterday, Coach Bowden, he loves coaching. He's like his dad. He's like his brothers, and I respect him a lot. Looked in the mirror and said, I'm 50 years old. I want to get back in coaching, and he did, and I tip my hat to him.
Once it's in your blood, it's like a narcotic. It's hard to get it out of there. I mean, you have to have football.
Third down and 8. Been tough tonight for Akron. Chapman got the first down, slips a couple of tackles at the 50-yard line, and he gets slobbered, knockered by Bird.
Man. Right in the smush, and Chapman gets right back up and signals first down. Basically, hey, good hit, but I'm fine. And Chapman, as he runs away, I mean, he's got some pretty good speed. Bird drills him right in the shoulder. It's a totally legal hit. He put his helmet right in his shoulder pad and took him to the turf. So there was no targeting, no head hunting. He lowered his target and hit him right in the chest, right in the shoulder pad area. The officials were right on top of it. Just good, hard, clean football.
Longest run of the game for Akron, and it gets him right at Sooner territory. Chapman throws over far side, incomplete. Let's go back to that last play because Atari Bird, the junior out of Fresno, California, brings a physical part. Well, there it is.
That is, you know, you have a teammate that's messing down low. That's Zach Sanchez, obviously, at the legs of Chapman, and he's trying to cut back away from Sanchez. And you have that shot, and you got to make sure if you're going to take it, you take it legally, and he did. He lowered his hitting zone and hit him right in the chest.
Second down and 10. You can see the Sooners over 300. The Zips only 75 yards passing. Running out of room. Going to lose a couple of yards on the play.
Well, he just knew that Dominique Alexander was there, and he had no chance to outrun him. He just took it out of bounds. So, you know, defensive players will say, Bird put the big hit on Chapman. Instead of turning it upfield, he just ran out of bounds and said, no more hits, Alexander. I don't want to take another shot. So sometimes those kind of hits do have a cumulative effect over the course of the game.
Well, you and I were talking on yesterday at practice about Baker Mayfield. You said he's the kind of guy that gets hit. Much like that, gets up and says, hey, good hit.
And that's what Chapman did. He jumped right up, signaled first down. I'm sure he had something to say.
Third down. Chapman going to go upstairs. And he's going to throw to a guy in khakis.
Well, quarterback read one thing, receiver read the other. Receiver hooked it up, quarterback threw it deep. Different pages of, not even on different pages, different volumes of the encyclopedia.
That wasn't pretty.
No.
And I know that man is very frustrated with that. That is unacceptable in his book.
And Chapman is making sure that he wanders away. He's not going to get an earful from coach.
9th punt of the game for Akron. Joe Mixon again standing at the 10-yard line. Zach Paul, flight attendants get the ice ready for his leg on the way home. Mixon calls for the fair catch. And he takes it inside the 6. Now we're still in the third quarter, 5:07 left to play.
Wow.
They can bust a move in Oklahoma.
Smooth.
You can see more of Baker Mayfield dancing. All you got to do is go on the internet. Sooners lead at 31-3, and our playbook from today's game presented by Mercy.
And that's what Akron was saying on this play. Mercy, fake it to Joe Mixon. They drop coverage on him. And Mayfield says, I can't believe it. Nobody's covering my man. And down the football field, Westbrook just blocks his defender from the 20-yard line. How about Joe Mixon? He can fly. He can really fly. And at the end, watch Baker Mayfield come down here and say, he plays like a linebacker. He's going to hurt his teammates like a linebacker. He plays like a linebacker.
I don't know if the high stepping or that I like better. I don't know. Well, P. Ryan and Mixon now in the backfield for the Sooners with Baker Mayfield. Mayfield keeps it. Ooh, he's up there. Takes a pretty good shot. May have gotten back to the line of scrimmage.
You know, and their attitude, Akron's attitude is, you take a shot at our quarterback, I'm taking a shot at yours. And this is Jamal Marcus. Watch him come over the top. Boom. He's trying to hit Mayfield just like Chapman got hit.
We've got an Akron player down, and the numbers on Mayfield. How about Mayfield? He threw for 4 touchdowns and ran for his 5th in his college debut versus SMU, and he played for Tech. Tonight, how about 3 touchdown passes?
Yeah, he threw for over 400 yards against SMU. He's thrown for over 300 against Akron. 3 touchdown passes and the all-important no interceptions. Plus, he's run the ball pretty well, and he's just abused teammates after touchdowns.
I know, really.
He's very, very physical. And you hate to see this. You hate to see anybody limping off a football field. At least he's able to do it pretty much under his own power. Ooh, struggling. Yeah. Somebody give him some help.
It may be a cramp. We're not sure.
Yeah, I mean the way he's that calf, he can't straighten his foot out. So that calf may have just knotted up on him. Give that man mass quantities of fluid.
Big time. And the Sooners, 2nd and 10. Mayfield rolls out, throws on the run, passes complete to Mixon. Still on his feet. Oh, what a move by Mixon.
Man.
Oh, my goodness, that's our mercy play.
How about Ronaldo? I mean, this guy, you talk about high hurdles.
Wow.
Once again, it's a little bootleg action, but look at this at the end. Up we go. Edwin Moses, Ronaldo Nehemiah, whatever you want to say. Unreal for him to hurdle a defender like that. This guy's got some skills.
25 yards for Mixon. Big night tonight for the redshirt freshman.
That's over 100 yards on 2 catches with 1 touchdown.
The fans just saw it on the board. Looking. Oh, passes incomplete, intended for Jeffrey Mead. Let's go back and look at Joe Mixon. Done a little bit of everything tonight, but this is the best.
He really has. Oh, up and over we go. I mean, he cleared it by a bunch. That's just to even consider that is raw athletic ability. Right there, if I landed, it'd be ACL, MCL, PCL, it'd be a total tear. Cartilage would be strewn on the field. That would be a terrible tryout.
I was going to say, we'd be carting you off tonight.
When I go vertical like that, you can slide the Sunday paper.
Mayfield pass caught, still on his feet. Baxter. And he is going to be marked out at the 50-yard line. And the Sooners really getting going now. Baxter covers 17 for the junior walk-on.
It's good to let Baxter eat. He had the great block on the touchdown reception by Mead. Give him a little something.
And here's Mead again. Gets a block.
Look at him block.
Spin move inside the 30-yard line.
Baxter once again, Ron.
Wow.
Fitting and blocking. You got to fit and finish, just like the big boys. Get the ball out to Mead. Do something. Look at Baxter. Fit, finish. Excellent. Excellent.
Pickup of 20 on the play, and the Sooners pick up the pace once again. At the 30-yard line, 1st and 10. Final 4 minutes here of quarter number 3. Mayfield. Mixon. Inside the 25, down to the 24-yard line. Pickup of 6 on the play.
No, Mixon, 6'1", 225 pounds. I'll tell you, this guy has got it all.
Yeah.
Explosiveness, receiving ability, he's talented.
Mayfield just swings it out to Baxter. Gets close to the 15-yard line, still on his feet as the whistle blows, and that'll be good enough for another first down.
Complementary plays. He handed the ball off to Mixon up the gut for big yards. Then he faked the handoff to Mixon up the gut for big yards and throws to the perimeter. Complementary plays. Lincoln Riley, now that his offense is in a little bit of rhythm on the football field, he can get in a rhythm as a play caller.
Bahu Green, number 18, is checked into the lineup. The freshman out of Oklahoma City. They like him. He's shown a lot of maturity lately, getting his first taste of action. Mixon will go top of your screen to the slot. And they throw to him. Gets the block. Box to the outside. Barrels his way inside the 5 down to the 2-yard line.
You got 2 receivers getting it done out here, and one of them's the star Shepard, and the other one's A.D. Miller. Look at these guys, 3 and 13. Outstanding. I mean, that's just like creating a hole for a running back. That's what a receiver is after he catches it, a running back.
Mayfield keeps it. He hurdles for the touchdown.
Oh, he goes after his lineman that time. You're not going to hurt those big boys. Man, I'll tell you what. You talked about the emotion, the unbridled joy of playing football. It does get contagious. I mean, his teammates love this attribute. Little zone read. Mixon. Look at everybody by Mixon. And they leave Mayfield wide open. Defensive end started chasing Mixon down the line of scrimmage. And Mayfield read that defensive end closing. Easy. Pull it out of Mixon's belly and take it around the corner.
9 plays, 93 yards, 231. A number of outstanding performances in that drive. Baxter, Mixon, Mayfield.
Watch, Mayfield is going to key the defensive end. When he closes like that, Mayfield says, mine, I'm keeping it, and I'm taking it to the end zone. It's a zone read, key the defensive end. When he chased Mixon, it was an easy read for Mayfield. He says, I'm number 1.
Exciting player, Baker Mayfield. Now that may be it for Baker Mayfield. We already see Trevor Knight starting to warm up, but here's what Baker Mayfield has done so far this evening.
Well, he's thrown the ball decisively and accurately, and he's attacked all quadrants of the field. He's been very good with the short and intermediate passing game, and then he's hurt them over the top with the chunk plays, the big plays. And this one, on a little bit of a scramble, he hits Mixon as they drop coverage on him. And then the wide receivers blocking for each other on the perimeter. And then the zone read for a touchdown. A little bit of everything. You know, bits and pieces of everything. Lincoln Riley likes it all. And look at those numbers.
Boy, how about a quarterback passing rating of 198.5, 388 yards throwing the football.
And he's rushed for yards and touchdown as well. I mean, he's well over 400 yards of total offense.
And that'll go out of bounds. Well, Baker Mayfield, ever since he was a young 5'2" freshman in high school, has always played with a chip on his shoulder.
There always is. I mean, that's something that I pride myself on. I play with a chip on my shoulder just because I didn't get the offers out of high school. People told me I was too small or too slow or that I couldn't do it, and that's something I carry with me when I step on the field, and I just use that as everyday motivation.
That chip on the shoulder is as big as a 2x4. I mean, it's huge. He started the game out 4 for 10 for 59 yards. A lot of guys might get their dauber down. Not Mayfield. Since 19 of 23, 329, 3 touchdowns, passing, and he's rushed for 1 as well.
Well, now Akron's in a big hole at 38-3. And the Sooner defense stands up. And I tell you what, Chad, you've been around Baker Mayfield an awful lot. He's got what a lot of us like to say is moxie.
Moxie, I love that word. It quality, people, and it's almost one of those things that it's hard to put your finger on, but he's really endeared himself to his teammates for the way that he is there for them. You know, yesterday he and Eric Stryker were on campus passing out T-shirts and handed out badges and bumper stickers to a lot of the people on campus, but those are the little things that he has done to help endure himself to his teammates and to the fans here at Oklahoma.
And you know, Chad, when I think about him and see him, I think swagger. And
swagger, yeah.
He thinks he's the best football player on the field, whether he is or not. Nobody's going to convince him he's not. And there's another penalty flag in front of the Akron bench. Everything's getting a little bit testy.
I think Atari Bird got into it over there. Yeah, a couple of players were. Chapman was involved in it also. Getting a little chippy, a little hot.
You know, Baylor yesterday. Earlier today, struggled and then exploded.
Yeah.
This offense can do the same thing. It can struggle, but it can explode at any time.
Personal foul. Defense, number 4, late hit out of bounds. 15-yard penalty, automatic first down.
Baylor and SMU are just back and forth, and then Baylor explodes. Oklahoma explodes. That's what can happen with these offenses, and here's Bird. Bird's the word, and he hits him right in the smush about 5 yards out of bounds. So it's getting very, very dicey out there.
Yeah. I think Jordan Thomas did a good job because he looked like he was about to get into it too, and he pulled back. Smart play by that young man.
And boy, they're doing it at the opponent's bench. That's where
really.
You're Custer, and there were a bunch of Indians over there.
I just don't understand that, Dave. Closing in on 1.5 minutes to play here in the third. Rush gets away from the first wave, and he's going to have to throw that into the stands again. And whoever's sitting in that seat, that's about 3 balls he's gotten so far tonight.
Really, just been, that's Obo, isn't it?
Yeah, Obo.
And couldn't bring him to the ground. Chapman, he's got a little bit of escapability to him.
But he
can't throw it.
He can't throw it.
No. One can run it, one can throw it. If you had both qualities in one guy, coach would be happy. But he's got a split personality there at quarterback. Yeah. Look at this, a couple of stacked receivers. They got high formation on both sides of things.
Akron only 5 of 23 passing for 75 yards. High snap. Chapman pulls it down and instead hands it to Alexander. And you know, he gets inside the 50 down to the 49-yard line.
You know what they're doing there, Ron? Stacking receivers as far as you can to the sideline to spread the field, empty the box, and run it.
Right.
That's all they're trying to do. They're trying to just move people from the tackle box. And Oklahoma still rose to the occasion.
Oklahoma with 446 total yards. Akron with 174 as we are inside of 1 minute here in quarter number 3.
And the fourth quarter is where it's going to start to wear on Akron. A lot of snaps. They've only got 75 people on the traveling squad. It's going to be tough.
3rd down and 6 for the Zips. The handoff. Alexander, not much going on as Dominique Alexander makes the stop.
Let me check myself. It's only 70 on the traveling squad.
Yeah.
Akron comes with 70 players. Oklahoma's got a bunch of players. They could probably pull some out of the stands. There's probably some ex-players here enjoying the game that could go out there and get some reps.
OU defense has been outstanding on third down tonight. They've stopped Akron on 13 of 16 third down attempts. And they're going to be forced to kick it away again. Wow. And they're going to let the clock run down.
Smart move.
Why not?
Melt it.
And you'll also get the wind when you kick it away. But 3 quarters in the books in Norman, Oklahoma. The Sooners hang 21 on the Zips in quarter number 3 as we head to the final stanza. Oklahoma, the number 19 team in the country, leading Akron 38-13. We head to the final stanza, and the Sooners leading the Zips of Akron 38-3, along with Dave Lapp and Chad McKee. I'm Ron Thulin. Joining us now, the athletic director here at the University of Oklahoma. Again, Joe Castiglione. What's going on, my friend?
Ron, they gave me a microphone this year. Are you scared? I see fear in your eye.
You've graduated. Well, the first thing we noticed, and I told you this on Thursday, we're flying over, landing at Will Rogers, and the construction. Absolutely incredible, this new end zone that's going in.
It really is, and it's moving quickly,
Oh, yeah.
as it needs to. We're on schedule to have the seating bowl done in time for our first home game next year, and it's going to be a beautiful addition. As you're seeing on the screen right now, the entire south end zone will be bowled in, so 360-degree Sooner fans.
You know, Joe, as we talk about BCS, the Oklahoma BCS, Boren Castiglione Stoops in its 17th year. But Castiglione is the visionary of the BCS. Where does that come from, really? I mean, you see things before others, that's for sure.
Well, that's part of Oklahoma's heritage. It's tradition. You know, we're trying to be the standard setter. You know, we know there are a lot of other great programs out there, and they're all trying to be successable, and a lot of creative people, but we have to try to jump out and do some things differently. And of course, our partnership with Fox is one of them. You know, they be able to have the first institutional network, and we're very proud of Sooner Sports TV.
Real quick about your football team. Slow start, a lot of penalties, a lot of self-destruction, but man, it's explosive, man. It can bust out at any time, can't it?
Well, it really can, and we kind of expected to have some of that because of the first chance to get it game speed. There's a lot of new parts. Quarterback, offensive lines, defensive guys, but as you can see, it's been a little more time to gel.
Well, Joe, one final question. Just again about the experience that the fans are going to have when this is done next season, because you see the drawings and the renderings. It is going to be incredible, not just for the players and the athletes and the student athletes here at Oklahoma, but also for the fans.
Well, it's a two-pronged goal, you know, trying to create that unforgettable experience for our fans and a world-class experience for student athletes with the resources that we provide, because all underneath that south end zone, new strength and conditioning, sports medicine, sports sciences, locker room, meeting rooms, all the coaches' offices. It's first class in every way.
And also, we've been talking a lot about the fact that the internet is such a big thing right now, and Oklahoma was a visionary with Soonersports.com and everything that they can get on this premium membership. I know as an announcer, and I was telling Chad this, I use it a ton just to get feature stories and get ideas about players. And if you're a fan, you're going to love it.
Well, when we conceived the idea, you know, of course, the mobile technology like we see evolving before our very eyes wasn't quite there yet, but we knew it would be, and we're trying to do our part to have TV everywhere. Where Sooners are, we want to be there with them if they can't be in the stands supporting our team.
Joe, I have to talk about your nutrition, because where do you find a guy like Orlando Brown, and how do you feed this guy? As a former lineman, 6'8", 340. I mean, he's long and he's strong. You find some amazing athletes out there.
Both with the nutrition and the strength and conditioning. I've watched him transform his body, and as you said, he's just a redshirt freshman. I'm so proud of the way he's handled everything, and a great kid. He's really done the right things and taken on the responsibilities that's been put before him.
Now, one final question. Dave and I were talking last night, and you know, we're biased. You're our favorite, and I'll admit it, you know. But he said, you know what I remember about Joe? Having a block party at his house years ago. See, it always comes around to food for us, you know. Remember you feeding us.
Well, as an Italian, it always comes around to food for me, too.
You're first class, my man.
We really appreciate you guys being
Joe,
here.
seeing you again, my
appreciate
friend.
our fans for watching and being part of this, and 99 straight sellouts.
You got it, and we've mentioned it a couple of times. Joe Castiglione, thanks so much. We'll be back with more from Norman, Oklahoma right after this. Stay with us. Oklahoma football on Fox Sports is brought to you by Ford. The best deals are happening now only at your Oklahoma Ford dealer. Ford is the best in Oklahoma. By Integris Heart Hospital, the most trusted name in healthcare. Sooner Sports TV personalities wardrobe provided by Threads Menswear and Blush on Campus Corner.
How do you like my blush? We didn't
You look good in blush. No, I didn't get that. Good look at some of the Sooners' cheeks. I know, because I'm about 900 degrees. And the fans are sticking around. It has been kind of an interesting night. The Sooners, of course, after the first quarter, only led 3-0, led 17-3 in intermission. Then they exploded in quarter number 3. Trevor Knight, that last series you probably saw, has come into the ball game. And we'll talk about that more in a minute. Spent some time with him on Thursday and yesterday. And now Akron going to try to get something going in this kind of game, Dave. And Akron is considered part of the upper echelon of the MAC. What are they going to try to accomplish here?
Well, don't quit. You know, there's going to be some trying times during the course of the season, and it's easy to play well when you're up 38-3. It's a lot tougher to play well and stay with it when you're down 38-3. Coaches want to see guys that will respond to the adversity. Front runners are easy to find.
Yeah.
Others aren't.
Ben Edwards was getting a lot of action on the kickoff team. Now he is getting some action as a running back. And again, the stacked receivers on the near side. Oh, looks, throws, pass complete. Over the 25-yard line to Michael Means, the junior out of Cincinnati, Ohio, Archbishop Moeller. Pretty good high school.
Yeah, my son played there.
I remember, yes.
Played football and baseball there. Was a captain of 2 sports. Proud of my son Dave. Went up to Miami, Ohio, and played football and baseball up there as well.
Well, that's not right, because when you and I started, he was young, and you told me he's about to turn 40.
Yeah,
that's not right.
39 years old. Will turn 40 this year.
That's just wrong, Dave. That's just really wrong in so many areas.
That was just
Ball's pass is incomplete.
Yeah, this, you know, you look at the defense for Akron, Ron. Every year they've improved on Chuck Amato. You know, they've given up a touchdown less. Last year they gave up a little over 23 points, fewest in the conference. The year before that they were at 29, then they were at 36. You know, so every year they've diminished in taking a touchdown off the points allowed on a seasonal basis.
And this could be Coach Amato's most athletic D since he's been there. I don't think there's any question. Van Edwards is stacked up, and he's going to lose about 4 on the play. Back to the 25-yard line.
Ron, we talked about...
Oh, the Sooners got it. He coughed it up.
Recovered by Oklahoma. First down.
I think they might have just taken it right out of his hands. I think they just said, you know, that ball's mine. Unbelievable. But I think Mike Stoops obviously has to be real excited. The play is made by Jordan Wade, the recovery, and he just comes right up, and I think he just takes it right out of his hands. Now, it's stripped out of there, and he falls on top of it. But boy, that ball is just, it's Griffin. I mean, he just rips the ball right out of there and does a heck of a job.
Well, that's something
Charles Walker.
Yeah, that's something Oklahoma wants to improve on, because turnovers in 2013, they were +9. They were -5 last season. That's a swing of 14. Not acceptable. Trevor Knight now in at quarterback, joined by Daniel Brooks. And he'll swing it out to Brooks. Looking for a block. Cuts inside. I want to talk about Trevor Knight. This young man, along with Cody Thomas, all 3 of them handled Baker Mayfield getting the job as starting quarterback probably the most impressive in my 40 years I've ever seen of two young men being Cody Thomas and Trevor Knight.
And I think Trevor Knight sets the standard with that because he's the older guy and he's dealt with it before. With Blake Bell, they kind of gave the job back and forth, you know, in competition. Yeah. So he is such a class act. I wouldn't expect anything less. He's an amazing kid.
He's going for the 6, doesn't get it. Incomplete, intended for Meade.
You know, another guy that's interesting, Ron, is Daniel Brooks that's in the game, 34. Yeah. In high school, well, let's take a look here. A contested catch opportunity once again. Defensive back has the inside position, can't reach or over him to catch it, but Brooks ripped his knee, 3 ligaments and cartilage in high school. Now he's back running 4.3 40s again. You talk about a guy that overcame adversity.
It's a kid that in high school also ran a 10.600 before he had the knee problems.
He did it in the long jump. Yeah. He landed in the long jump pit and tore 3 ligaments and cartilage.
Now he's running Division I football. Okay. Knight throws, pass, caught inside the 15 to the 14.
Incomplete.
Incomplete now. Botham thought he had it.
Rolling on the field, incomplete pass.
He runs a decent route. The ball's right there. Reaches back. Can't see it. His body kind of blocks it, but you got to go to the ground with full. The ball hits the ground. You can see the ball hit the ground and then bounced up in his belly. Good call.
That brings up a 4th down for the Sooners. I think Seibert's going to kick another field goal. This will be 41 yards.
Chip shot.
Yeah, really?
This is his 60-degry wedge right here.
Considering his leg. First person to punt and kick for the Oklahoma Sooners since Tress Way back in 2009. Not a problem.
Bobbled the snap, and the holder had to get it down as quickly as he could. Usually that disruption of timing affects the kicker. He drilled it.
Well, Botham couldn't hold on to the pass, but he holds on to the snap. And the field goal is good, and the Sooners extend their lead to 41-3. (41-3) is our score. 10:29 left to play in quarter number 4. The Sooners have dominated here in the second half. And our OU outreach game summary looks like this. How about 7.3 yards per play for Oklahoma?
How about the third quarter the Oklahoma Sooners had? Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
I mean, it was tough sledding in the first half. Akron did a pretty good job, but Oklahoma just exploded. But yeah, 7.3 yards per play is getting it done. Joe Mixon has shown himself to be the versatile weapon that they were looking for. I mean, obviously he's going to have a significant impact on the season. Lincoln Riley's going to be happy about that. He's going to be happy about the way his young quarterback played.
Absolutely. Well, Nick Hodgson, who kicked off last season for Oklahoma, the zoology major, was number 2 in the NCAA in touchback percentage. Van Edwards from the 4. He is stacked up as he crosses the 15-yard line. Outstanding job tonight by the Sooners special teams.
Well, look who's out there. Devontae Bond. I mean, they have a starters playing at least 1, sometimes 2 special teams. So Oklahoma takes that phase of things seriously.
Well, we promised you we'd tell you how the name Zips came from. It actually comes from zippers, which were rubber overshoes made by B.F. Goodrich in the 20s and 30s. In 1925, they had a naming contest for the team, and a woman by the name of Margaret Hamlin got $10 for the name. And in 1950, it was shortened to Zips, and their mascot is Zippy, one of the few female mascots in all of college football. Now you're all caught up with everything.
I thought those were galoshes. those rubber. My granddad used to say, son, put your galoshes on.
Yeah, overshoes, galoshes.
Rubbers.
Yeah, 85,370 people here in the stadium did not hear that, so we'll let them email it to us, and we'll be glad to send it along. I think Lee Horsley is still my better one. You know, I mean, you didn't know who he was. You couldn't remember. Muleshoe, Texas. Gosh.
Muleshoe. Horseshoe.
And Akron now trying to get something going. Pohl just hands it off to Hakeem Lawrence, the junior out of Miami, Florida. Hialeah Miami Lakes High School, outstanding high school. And he's able to move the chains a little bit, but sets up another 3rd down. And this has been the Achilles heel for Akron tonight. Just 3 of 16.
The good news tonight in the opener, you want to stay away from injury.
That's right.
Seen maybe a couple of cramps and things of that nature, but it hasn't looked like anything significant, which is good for both teams. The thing you hate to do is a team like Akron come in here and lose about 5 significant players to injury for about a month or so and mess up your chances in the conference.
Third down, and the Zips need 4. Cole looks, and he is going down.
And once again, number 97 can get up the football field. Charles Waka, Ranger. This guy, watch him get off the football. He's a 3 technique that has explosion to him. Actually, he was on the other side of it.
Wow.
No, that was him coming up field off that 3 technique. 3 technique is the outside shoulder of the guard. The other tackle is the 1 technique, the inside shoulder of the guard. That 3 technique, if he can get that type of penetration, the quarterback can't climb the pocket. It's everybody eats.
Well, he also forced the fumble on the last possession, so he's having a pretty good evening, and the Sooners force Akron to kick it away again. And what's scary about Walker as the ball's going to be down is the coaches say he can run a 4.6 40 at times.
300-pounder.
That's spooky.
Can fly.
Well, the Sooners have flexed their muscles, and the lights are shining bright on them tonight. They lead Akron 41-3 with just over 8 left to play in the ballgame. Sooners lead at 41-3, 8:14 left to play in the ball game, and our OG&E player of the game was pivotal as the Oklahoma Sooners opened up a 17-3 lead on the catch by Westbrook.
Nice job, one-handed snag by Westbrook. Left hand tap it into the body, make a play on it, and that got Oklahoma rolling a little bit. And the confidence from that point on just started to swell, and the dam was broken open, and a flood of points.
How about the fact that Mayfield not only had Westbrook to throw to and had some great catches, but Westbrook also did a great job blocking tonight.
They did. I mean, all the receivers, if they weren't the target, everybody else helped their teammate by blocking. I mean, the receivers complimented each other great tonight.
And here's Alex Ross getting his first carry of the evening. Gets the corner. Gets up to the 50-yard line. You know, talking about Baker Mayfield a moment ago, OU has set a couple of records tonight we want to mention. Mayfield's 388 passing yards is the most by a Sooner quarterback in his debut since a guy by the name of Sam Bradford threw 363 in 07 against North Texas, and Joe Mixon's 76-yard touchdown reception, the longest by a Sooner freshman running back in school history.
About that.
Think about the freshman running backs that have been here. Here's Dimitri Flowers out of Churchill High School in San Antonio, Texas.
But most of those running backs were runners. He caught it.
That's right.
That was a reception. I mean, his deal is he can run routes and catch the ball like a wide receiver. I mean, he's not just, you know, a running back that's going to pound it, and he's got some special traits.
Second down for the Sooners. Knight looks, throws, rifles it over the middle, should have been caught.
Yeah.
In and out of the hands of Green, the freshman. Boy, I tell you, Trevor Knight put it right on the money.
Can't throw it any better. I mean, the ball was delivered beautifully, tight spiral, catchable, just ate him up. The ball got on top of him before he could get his hands up. Speed of the game. You know,
you got it.
You know, and the thing is, Ron, the running back position, top to bottom, not just the 1-2 punch, but top to bottom, maybe the deepest position group in all of college football.
I agree.
They just keep bringing in another athlete off the bench.
Rodney Anderson is now checked into the lineup for the Sooners. And it is Andrews. I'll tell you, this is a young man that has type 1 diabetes. Found out when he was 9 years old. His parents said, never cried about it. Just said, I'm going to keep playing football. And he does. He's really battled it, and he's quite a beaming light for those that have type 1 diabetes.
He's basically a detached tight end. You know, he's a slot receiver. But if you control the middle of the field like he just did on that catch, you control the middle field, you own the whole field. Ask Drew Brees with Jimmy Graham.
Absolutely. Anderson. You know, getting back to Andrews, too, his best friend in high school was a guy named Kyle Allen, now the quarterback of Texas A&M. Pretty good high school, Desert Mountain, I would say, in Scottsdale.
I would say so. But really, when you have a tight end, Phillip Rivers with Antonio Gates, you know, Boomer Esiason had an all-pro Rodney Holmes. I mean, if you have a tight end that can control the middle of the field in the passing game, you own the field.
Especially when you have guys like also P. Ryan and Mixon there. And
right, and the perimeter receivers, it makes their life easier. You can't roll coverage to double it.
Lights going up again. looking for big money. He's got it to Meade. Inside the 5-yard line.
Let's see if they're going to call Meade for pushing off.
Yep, they are going to call it.
Yeah, he leveraged it and pushed it off a little bit.
Pass interference. Offense, number 15. 15-yard penalty. Replay second down.
Now, so Jeffrey Meade's a hoop guy, so he's trying to post him up a little bit.
Right. You can see the push right there. Kind of subtle, but definitely, you know, broke his stride. You can't push off with two hands like that. The official was right there to see it and make the call.
I'll tell you what, though, you look at Meade at 6'6", and again, Trevor Knight putting the ball right on the money.
Looks like a praying mantis out there, you know? I mean, he's 6'6" and angular and long.
So it sets up a second down and long for the Sooners. Knight rolling, buying some time, tiptoeing down the sideline, inside the 40, down to the 38-yard line. That'll be a pickup of about 6.
Ron, with Knight in the game.
Yeah.
Oklahoma, how about the depth of quarterback? They've got 3 quarterbacks that have won a Big 12 game. 3 different guys. You know, you talk about Ohio State with all the depth of quarterback. They got guys that have played at a high level of football that they can involve in football games as well.
Well, think about it. Cody Thomas 2-1 as a starter. Trevor Knight 11-4 as a starter.
In the Big 12.
In the Big 12. And then Baker Mayfield, what he did at Texas Tech.
Sure.
That's called depth, my friends. Third down and 14. Inside of 5.5 to play coming up. Light rifle in the pass. Got it. First down. Andrews.
Where did he catch it? Middle of the football field, right between the hash marks. How did he catch it? Ball thrown behind him a little bit. Big guy, 6'5", 250. Turns easily. Very fluid. Ball behind him. Turns his hips. Very flexible.
Yeah, Knight keeps it and scampers outside. We have a penalty flag. By the way, that was Andrews' 4th catch. That went for 19 yards.
Offside. Defense, number 8. 5-yard penalty. Replay first down.
How about 10 Sooners have caught passes tonight?
That's being a nice point guard. That's the quarterbacks distributing the ball all over the field, and that's being able to play a lot of players because, you know, you have a 38-point lead. And Bob Stoops wasn't real happy. You could tell that he wasn't real pleased when Chad was talking to him going off the field at halftime, but boy, they've played well in the second half.
Absolutely they have. So the Sooners have first down and 5. Ball on the 12-yard line, knocking on the door again. Knight just hands it to Ross. Inside the 10, down to about the 9-yard line.
You know, we talk about it all the time, but the red zone, that's not a place you want to give up yards. They're so valuable. The field compresses, so it's tougher to put the ball in tight windows and tougher to run the football. When you give away yards, man, it's just coffin nails.
Well, the Sooners were 72% touchdowns in the red zone, and this time Ross is stacked up. He'll be close to the first down. Needed to get to about the 7.5-yard line. See where the spot is. And he did get it.
Got a lot of guys getting snaps. Got some backup offensive linemen in there. A backup quarterback at this stage. A lot of receivers, as you mentioned, 10 different guys. You know, some obviously running backs, but catching the football. A lot of players involved tonight.
First and goal. Knight looks, throws to the end zone, and it's going to be picked off. Was looking for Green, and Green kind of got run off the play, and DeAndre Scott comes up with the interception.
Yeah, Lincoln Riley catching Knight as he comes off the field, talking it over right away, telling him it might have been better to go outside with the football on the hook right
there. Our player of the game brought to you by Integris Hospital. It's got to be Baker Mayfield.
Baker Mayfield distributed the ball all over the football field to different people, threw the ball accurately and on time. He just did a tremendous job. Some of his receivers picked him up with great plays as well. And this was a backbreaker. Joe Mixon, they dropped coverage on him. He made him pay. And then the receivers getting the act by blocking for each other and making the journeys to the end zone easy. Baker Mayfield himself on his own read goes in untouched. Big performance by Baker Mayfield. 388 yards, a couple of touchdowns, and he rushed for one.
Once again, that's the most by a Sooner quarterback in a debut since Sam Bradford back in 2007.
Ooh, it's bad when you're doing a zone read and the quarterback tackles the runner.
That's not good.
No, they tripped over each other. It's an unassisted play for Oklahoma. Nobody gets a tackle from Oklahoma. I guess the closest guy to the play gets a tackle.
There you go.
Boy, I'll tell you, when you look at these Oklahoma athletes, they pass the eyeball test. Jerry Smith is doing a heck of a job.
Boy, he does.
In the weight room with these guys and the nutrition that they get. I mean, Oklahoma's state of the art in every way you can be.
Well, Thomas Woodson is checked into the lineup as quarterback, the sophomore out of Monroeville, Pennsylvania, a suburb of Pittsburgh. And Woodson showing a little flash and dash, crosses the 30 up to the 32-yard line. He was a backup last season, had a couple of starts. Not a bad rusher, had 32 rushes for 131 yards last season.
You know, Akron, in the early, people are going to be deceived, 41-3 right now, but halfway through the second quarter, this was anybody's football game, and Akron just could not get anything going offensively. Their defense was playing well, but the offense could never play complementary football. And you know, nobody knows it more than Coach Bowden right now. On the flip side of it, Oklahoma's offense came to life and complemented their defense, and they pulled away.
Closing in on 3 minutes to play in the ball game. Hakeem Lawrence, he's going to be stacked up on first down, and let's check in with Chad.
You know, we talked about newness in the pregame show. I think the results of that and the reviews have been really good. So far, you got a new quarterback who's been tossed around with the name Sam Bradford as far as his debut as a Sooner quarterback. You saw Joe Mixon tonight. And one of the fun things right now, as many as 4 or 5 guys, P.J. Mbanasor, Prentice McKinney, Will Sunderland playing back in the secondary right now. So you get a look at some of the new guys back on the back end of this defense as well.
Absolutely.
They really did recruit on that back end extremely well, Chad, didn't they? I mean, they got a lot of great players.
You look at the defensive backs that they've got back. All the backups right now are redshirt freshmen or freshmen in the secondary. Is Lawrence the ball carrier? We got a little bit of feistiness at the top of your screen.
Yeah, definitely.
A little Houghton getting tangled up just a little bit up there. Well, Lincoln Riley, of course, his 32nd birthday, and you know, I've known Lincoln a long time, since he was a GA. He's probably one of the nicest guys you'd ever meet in your life. And right now he's probably thinking, okay, we're winning. But, you know, maybe tomorrow I've got to look at this. I got to do. His head is probably going 100 miles an hour now about what they need to improve on and work on.
Yeah, I mean, he's a perfectionist. There's no question about it. He has got a computer-like football mind. Yeah. I mean, he got in a rhythm. When the players started playing well, he got in a rhythm calling plays in the second half. That was beautiful.
Well, Woodson showing his running ability as he gets the first down up over the 45 to the 47-yard line. Cameron Cotton, the walk-on out of Tulsa, Oklahoma, coming up to make the stop.
Well, next game's going to be a test. Playing Tennessee down there.
No.
And they've got themselves a much better football team. Our state rival, Tulsa, then start some conference action.
Well, I know you and I have done games at Tennessee, and my friends, after you do a game there, you will never want to hear the song Rocky Top ever again. And I know one of the Norman schools, that's kind of their theme song, but you won't want to hear it after going to a game ever again.
That is a heck of a venue, though. I mean, Oklahoma is going to have to deal with some rabid fans down there. Those volunteer fans show up in droves.
And if you're staying at a local hotel right by the stadium, the band will show up at 7 o'clock in the morning to play the aforementioned Rocky Top.
And there's some good barbecue down there as well. There's a lot of good.
The old steakhouse.
Oh, the old steakhouse. That dog will hunt all day, every day. It's pointing and barking out there right now.
We should do a book of places to eat in SEC, Conference USA, Big 12, you know, Southwest ACC.
Yeah,
pretty much covered, don't we?
We've hopscotched around.
Either we're good or we can't hold a job. One of the two. I'm not sure which one it is. Second down and 4 for the Zips. Woodson airing it out near side, overthrows his intended receiver. As Anthony Young.
Well, I can say that doing college football together, Ron, as long as we've been doing it, it's been nothing but a joy.
Absolutely.
And there's nothing better. And, you know, that's why Coach got back in the game. There's nothing better than the pageantry of college football on a Saturday or Friday night or Thursday, whatever it is now. But college football is an unbelievable experience for everybody involved.
I mean, 21 years, or since 1995 for us. Bob Steinfeld, our producer, we started working with him in '96. Clay Armstrong was doing the old Big 8 Southwest Conference with me, and our director now, Clay Armstrong, and Doug Foster, the whole crew, we've been together a long time, and we're not only colleagues, but we're great friends, and I wouldn't want to do games with anybody but you guys.
So it's been a heck of a ride.
And that's going to end it. Bob Stoops, he may muster a smile. The over and under is not good on that, but he did win. Open up the 2015 season with a 41-3 victory over. Great second half for Oklahoma, and I think that was the key where they finally put the penalties aside, and they finally got things going.
Yeah, they took themselves off their schedule, and once you do that, they're a pretty good football team. You can't help the opponent. I don't care who the opponent is. They're good enough to bother you if you're your own worst enemy on an evening or an afternoon.
And they finally shook the penalties away, and they started putting things together, and they really exploded in quarter number 3, and that was huge for them. And now the Sooners are 16-1 under Bob in home opener. They've won 10 in a row, and here's Chad with Bob Stoops.
Well, a successful win for you guys tonight, Coach. Defense allows less than 100 yards passing. Let's start with them first. What pleased you most about that side of the ball?
Yeah, just the overall discipline, communication. Guys are really, played the right technique, played well, and didn't have any, missed assignments. That goes a long way.
Baker Mayfield's debut as your starting quarterback, 380 passing yards, really got things clicking late in that first half. What worked well for him?
Yeah, just the execution really overall. Once we got into a little bit of a rhythm, we caught our stride, and the Baker can make all the throws. He's smart where he goes with the football, and I thought he did a really good job.
Run game got going a little bit with Samaje and Joe Mixon using the backs out of the backfield. That part of the passing game started to evolve in that second half. Did you like that as well?
Yeah, we needed to run it better. They kind of went into a front that we didn't spend enough time with, but no excuses. We've got to run it better than that. But those backs made a lot of nice plays, and Joe had the big passing play, so they were involved.
All right, Coach, we appreciate it.
All right.
Congratulations.
Appreciate it.
Focusing a lot on the offense, but we got to give kudos to Dominique Alexander. Great job tonight on the defensive side of the football.
Yeah, Dominique Alexander, 10 tackles, a career high, 2.5 tackles for loss. I mean, he was very, very aggressive and played downhill all night.
And here's Chad with Baker Mayfield.
This is something that you dreamed of as a young boy growing up in Austin, being a Sooner, quarterbacking the Sooners. Did it live up to those dreams and expectations?
It was good to get out here for the first time in front of a big crowd, but I mean, the score doesn't necessarily portray how we played. We started off pretty slow early. Got to work on that, but yeah, it was pretty fun getting out here for the first time.
Yeah, what started working really kind of started to click the last 2 drives of the first half. What was different, or what started to work for you?
We'll look back at on film. The first 5 drives, we had 1 play per drive that we shot ourselves in the foot. The first 2 were penalties, and then the other 2 were blocking. Just basically, it wasn't anything they were doing special. It was just we got to iron out our mistakes. Just get back to the basics and execute.
They're showing some footage of you doing the gladiator dance right now. Is this a celebratory dance type mood for you? That's what they're telling me. I want the whip and the nay-nay is what I'm more familiar with. But is this a celebratory dance type situation for you?
No, not exactly. I don't know what a gladiator dance is, but that's probably not happening.
It's new. I think they're trying to invent it up in the booth.
Oh, okay. Well, maybe it's working.
They're showing it right now. It's what you're telling me what in my ear? It's what he did for who? Oh, the intro video, they're telling me.
Oh, geez. I hope they don't show that. Yeah.
We'll make them take it off right now and let you get in there and enjoy things with your teammates. Congratulations, Baker.
Thank you.
Guys, back to you.
All right, Chad, thank you very much. Great job by Baker Mayfield tonight, setting the record for a quarterback in his debut since Sam Bradford did it against North Texas, and our final numbers look like this. Sooners start out not good offensively. They still end up 539 total yards.
Still going to run the ball, like Coach said, better than they did. Make some adjustments and get that done. They were minus in the turnover category. Don't want that. Neither team did well enough on 3rd down. A lot of things to work on. There are some coachable things, but when you win a game by 38 points and you put over 500 yards on the board and you still have things to talk about and coach up, not a bad night.
And 4 of 13 on 3rd down, and I think that's something that the Sooners are going to really take a hard look, but they get the first win of the book, and that is usually kind of tough, and they were able to do it. Now they set their sights on the Tennessee Volunteers. Good win tonight for Oklahoma. Once again, our final score, the Sooners win it 41-3 over the Akron Zips. from Gaylord Family Oklahoma Memorial Stadium. For Dave Lapham, Chad McKee, and our entire crew in Norman, Oklahoma, I'm Ron Thulin. Thanks so much for watching, and have a great football season, everybody.